Facebook, what's up? Instagram, which I'm posting to right now, and what's up our podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, please feel free to subscribe. If you're watching on Facebook, please feel free to share. We're talking to Dr. Aaron Chapa this morning. We're going to be talking about health, wellness. We're talking about cleanses. Me and Curt, we're thinking about doing it again, going back on another cleanse. So we're going to be talking to Dr. Chapa this morning, and I'm excited. Go ahead and share this video out. If you have somebody in your life, if you have somebody on your news feed, somebody in your friends circle that you think can benefit from being off medication, if you think they can benefit from living a more active, healthy lifestyle, if you have somebody who's suffering from any chronic illness, any chronic stuff going on, the doctors are like, hey, here, take more pills. We're going to see if there's a better way. And I'm getting this Instagram post going and shared. All right. And we're about to go live. Do this today. I'm excited. It's going to be a good day.
New music coming up next.
Good morning. You're listening to KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. It's 8:32 in the beautiful morning. We're in Lamarck, Texas. This is Kickstart, your new routine. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Curt.
And we have a special guest in studio hanging out with us today. We're going to be talking about health. We're going to be talking about wellness. We're going to be talking about getting off medicine. We're going to be talking about getting, healing your joints, healing your back. We're going to be talking about everything. So if you have any questions for us today, please feel free to let us know. That's why we are here. We're here to answer questions. We are here to get you off some medication. Is there a way to heal your body through food? That's an excellent question, Gardy. Let me answer that for you. The answer is yes. There is a way, and the only reason I know that is because I've done it before. I've done it before, and I'll do it again. So right now, I'm about to take this. I'm going to call it a concoction of like natural herbs and pills and stuff, but these aren't like artificial, made in a, I don't know, like of stuff that I can't. Well, it is stuff I can't pronounce, but these are all things that are like grown on like organic farms and stuff like that. Is that right, Dr. Chapa?
That is right, my friend. Good morning, everybody. This is Dr. Aaron Chapa from Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center in League City, Texas. And I'm hanging out with the boys this morning on Kickstart Radio. And yes, I've got a little concoction for these guys to help them kickstart their morning and bring vitality and energy to you guys as y'all are listening in. Hope you guys are enjoying the ride into work or your morning coffee as you are hopefully bulletproofing your day. And I always talk about start your day right, and you will find that you'll end it more effective, more energetic than whenever you started on a fast-paced, rushing type, day start. Right?
Yeah.
It's no fun to wake up late and just feel like you're behind the 8 ball all day. So what you're taking there is adrenal support and kidney support and immune support and digestive support. It's waking up your tissues and letting them know, hey, it's time to hit the ground running. We got a lot to do today, and we need all systems firing on all 8 cylinders so that our bodies perform well and live well all the days of our life.
Yeah, we definitely need that. I will say we missed you last week. Can you let us know where were you at and what was going on? We want to know. We want to know.
So I apologize. Through all when you prepare for a trip, there's a lot that happens on the front end, and of course when I got home there's tons of stuff I got to do on the back end of a trip. But we went out of town, me, my family, and my in-laws. We went out to on a cruise.
That's awesome.
Out of Fort Lauderdale, and we got to see some beautiful water, some beautiful country, and it was just a very exciting time. And it was really neat as I found a treasure on the ship. Every day.
What?
Oh, no word of a lie. I found every morning I'd get up and I would do a stretch class that they had. I would do a small exercise regimen and nothing crazy, and it was probably about 40 minutes or so. And then I found a juice bar where they would freshly squeeze juice. Spinach, beets, carrots, kale, oranges, lemons, ginger, tomatoes, jalapenos. I had all kinds of stuff made. Even I got my kids doing it with me.
That's cool.
And then that's how I would start my morning every morning. And then I'd actually, me and some folks here in town are doing a weekly Bible study. And we're all, working on memorizing some scripture and working on some different programs spiritually to, program our spiritual life as much as our functional life, right? And, I've always heard it said that a strong functional life comes from a strong spiritual life, and you've got to feed that system as well. And so anyway, every morning I'd get up and we would go through this process, and man, it was just amazing to wake up and just look open to the open waters of the ocean and just say, God has given me breath today, man. The rest is extra.
That's cool. I was going to ask, how was it eating, let's just say.
Let's just talk about that a second.
Yeah, trying to eat right, trying to eat like real food to get real results that your body needs on a cruise.
So obviously, you guys saw that I had this. You might show this to the Facebook guys.
Yeah.
I travel with this box, and I have 2 of these boxes. Yeah, they're like maracas, and it's filled full of all kinds of supplements and nutrition and things to help with digestion and immune support and making sure that the system runs like it's supposed to. Well, so eating on a cruise is healthy is pretty much impossible. They don't really have a lot of gluten-free options.
Yeah.
The easiest thing for me, frankly, was to do the no dairy, and that's really my biggest, one of my biggest things. But I also think I found this week that chocolate, it's number 6 on the list of most common food allergens. I think chocolate is not necessarily not milk chocolate, like a dark chocolate is not my friend. And I'm sad about that because I'm noticing things happen in my body digestively and skin. Like a few little skin rashes popped up that I haven't had in, since we did this last cleanse with you guys.
Is there dairy in that as well?
Well, there could
minimal?
be a very minimal amount, but but the remember, chocolate comes from a plant as well, right?
Right.
And so it is very possible that through the processing, and maybe it wasn't a high quality ingredient, and that could have flared it up. But it was very hard to eat well. I did eat. I found that I could eat eggs and asparagus for breakfast. So I started my day right.
That's nice.
And then, so I had my juice in the morning, and then I had eggs and asparagus for breakfast. I had I did have some bacon and some chicken sausage. They had some amazing chicken hot dogs that were absolute, like chicken and apple hot dogs that were delicious.
It sounds good.
And so I tried to kind of stay towards the lower carb way. And then, in the evening times, it was a little hard to pass up some of the bread that would come across, or a dessert or two. You wanted to take a bite of this or that. And that's how I kind of did it, is I didn't deny myself, but I didn't overindulge either. On a cruise, the whole concept is to eat and eat.
Yeah.
And so I took, handfuls of supplements before meals and during meals, in the morning and the evening, to kind of offset some of the things that I don't normally do. And then I came back yesterday, and surprise, surprise, feel pretty good today. And I'm ready to rock and roll,
That's cool.
So but I'll tell you, when you travel, you've got to have a lot of digestive support. You've got to have a lot of, things that can either soothe the gut, move trash through your gut, or make sure that there's no infections that brew in the gut.
One of the things that we talked about, I think it was with you or maybe with one of the cruise liners that we had in here, they said, man, you got to be really careful about what you eat when you go to a different country.
Right.
And especially maybe on a cruise, because those are things that you're not used to having in your normal diet. So like if we went and ate overseas, our body would respond in a different way.
That's right. So I think we talked about a few weeks ago that our gut lining has an ample supply of bacterium, and we call that the ecosystem. And that gut biome is diverse with what our parents gave us when we or our mom gave us as we passed through the womb, and what we, what she was eating and what she has available to give us. And so one of the things that, we try to teach people is to avoid antibiotics. When you're sick, you destroy the gut biome in and of yourself. Well, the same goes is if you go to a foreign country and you inoculate yourself with bacterium that might not be populated in your gut biome, it will create disaster. It can create that's why people come back with parasites. That's why people get rashes, they get yeast, they get sick, they get colds, they get digestive irritation. One of the patients, I actually bumped into a patient on this trip, surprise. She comes to see me from Austin, and she's a breast cancer survivor, and met up with her on the last day of the ship, the cruise. And it was funny because not funny, it's sad. One of her grandkids got sick, and they quarantined her for 2 days with digestive stuff.
Wow.
Because they don't want that stuff spreading around on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
But what the cruise line does a lot of times, like when we went to Haiti, they actually bought a piece of Haiti and a land purchase, or land lease purchase thing, and the whole cruise basically took pallets of food off the ship, cooked, American food, so to speak, so that kind of stuff didn't happen. So that's how they kind of worked around that situation. And then we really didn't eat much in some of the other areas. We did eat in St. Martin, and it was terrible. Like, it was the worst decision I'd ever made.
What made it terrible? Was it just not good tasting food, or was it just it messed with you?
It was not good tasting food, and the guacamole didn't. I don't know.
What'd you have? Is it like
I had a guacamole, and I had a fish taco. That was a grilled fish taco, and but I didn't eat the tortilla. I just ate the lettuce and the fish and the guac, right? Mm-hmm. And but oh my gosh, like for the rest of the day, I was burping up fish. I was burping up like I had heartburn, and I don't get heartburn,
right?
I don't have this problem, and I'm like, I literally for a second understand the pain that people have suffering when they come in and tell me they have heartburn issues. Mm-hmm. It's real indigestion, real feeling like you're breathing fire, and you're like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And then what do people prescribe? Antacids. That's the worst thing you could do. I mean, we're even prescribing antacids to children, infants today. And it is a sad day when we're doing that, because we're altering the way the stomach breaks down and digests food. And it's your first line of defense. You don't want bacteria from foreign countries or that just happen to be on your spinach leaf here in Texas to have a bacteria that can penetrate into the small intestine and create an ecosystem that is against you, right? You want the stomach is designed to pump out acid and burn out the bacteria, and then it goes into the small intestine for further breakdown and absorption, and then you excrete it through the colon, right? Well, this whole concept of antacids whenever we have heartburn and reflux isn't the fact that our stomach is overproducing acid, is that we ate the wrong food. And our body's having a hard time breaking it down.
Mm-hmm. Right now it's 8:44. You're listening to KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. We're streaming live on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. Feel free to subscribe and like this video. We're streaming live on Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure to like this video, share it out with your friends, because I promise there's somebody on your friends list who can benefit from the information we're going to be continuing to talk about this morning. Dr. Chapa, I do have to say, we are glad that you're back this week. We missed you last week, and I think that we missed you the most because you helped keep us accountable. So before we went on the air, I kind of told you, hey, it's been about 3 weeks since the cleanse was over.
Right.
2 weeks, awesome. We had our face-to-face with you. You're kind of like, how's it going? Hey, we're doing good. This is what we have going on. So last week, Dr. Chapa, you're with your family time, and that's awesome. We love it. But we didn't get Gardy and Curt time. So Gardy and Curt were like, Gardy and Curt went wild at
that would be
fried
a cool
food.
slogan.
Kurt, we had a great time. Let's just say that. But now we're like, man, we need to get back on track. What happened? What happened to our lives? We didn't have our Dr. Choppa time.
What did you guys feel whenever you had Curt Gardy Gone Wild?
Pleasure.
Oh, wait, what?
We felt maybe a little bit bloated, maybe a little bit of.
I lost my bicep.
Oh,
I would
no.
say that
Well,
maybe a loss
wait.
of definition.
Oh, there's a little bit. I can see a little
Your
bit of a
arm looks
difference.
so small. I don't even know.
There's a bump there.
There is a bump there.
See? There's still something there,
Oh,
but it's not as defined as what it was.
And what is that? That just means like water weight or
well,
fat, like
so
fat?
it could have been. So whenever he cleaned up his diet, see, here's what I've learned: the body has mechanisms to protect you, and so whenever you eat a bunch of toxic food, your body holds on to water to dilute the concentration of that toxic burden you're carrying.
Okay.
So like if there was a threshold, right? If you're and your body says, I can't let that person run around, Curt, toxic. So I'm going to hold on to this excess water, dilutes the concentration. So nature's solution to pollution is dilution, right?
Okay.
And so what happens on a detox is you're not allowing those toxins to come into your body. You're not letting high fructose corn syrup come in. You're not letting artificial sugars come in, or partially hydrogenated oil come in, or any type of substance that is foreign to our system's ability to break down effectively. And your body doesn't need to hold on to that excess water. That's why people fluctuate 5, 6, 10
Right.
pounds, inside of a week, even. And it is amazing that your body does this, but it does it to protect you. And the better you avoid processed food, and I call it the 4 deadly food additives: high fructose corn syrup, partially hydrogenated oil, MSG or artificial sugars, and that's all the artificial sugars. That's the yellow stuff, the pink stuff, and the blue stuff that's sitting at everybody's table. It's aspartame that's on a label, and it's in your gum. It's sucralose, and you got to be careful. Sucrose and sucralose are not the same thing. Sucrose is a natural occurring substance, sugar, that y'all are familiar with, table sugar, and sucralose, spelled very similar, but very different in its makeup. It's basically like taking chlorine and sprinkling it over your favorite meal and calling it a healthy treat, and it's not. MSG, monosodium glutamate, very degenerative. It causes synapses to burn out in your brain and causes all kinds of havoc in your digestive tract, causes migraines and headaches and fatigue. And I've seen it do all kinds of stuff. And then these partially hydrogenated oils can clog up your liver for like 6 months.
Wow.
I mean, and so if we avoid these things, our body doesn't have to hold on to excess water. And now Curt's hanging his head like, oh.
Yeah, he keeps staring at his arms over there, kind of. I don't know. Are you depressed a little bit? Just
no, I'm ready for another cleanse. I'm enjoying the last like 6 or 7 days before we hit this cleanse.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Eating banana pudding,
Okay.
getting some T-bone Toms, just enjoying everything until.
So what do you? So like if you go to T-Bones, I know what I get if I go to a T-Bone Tom's. What do you get?
Well, so Friday night was the first time that we've ever been to T-Bone Tom's, and
We had the GM in on Thursday.
yeah,
I'm excited about that. Keep going.
What did we have?
I had chicken fried steak.
I think I had the.
You don't?
I don't
Remember?
remember. It was like the
But,
chicken
okay,
sandwich.
So they also had like I think they call them armadillo eggs. So it's like a jalapeno. It's fried. It was Kurt's
It's got
birthday.
cheese, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it has some cheese, like a layer of cheese and stuff like that. But that was on Friday, and I'm not saying it's 100% your fault, Dr. Choppa, because you were out of town.
Yeah,
but-
I know. I'm seeing where this is going, but I did see the birthday balloon still hanging up back there. So happy belated birthday, Curt. Sorry,
Oh, thank you.
couldn't, be there for the celebration.
31. Here he comes. He's on his way now.
So so when I go to a T-Bones, they have their steaks are really good, and I get that and green beans typically is a dish that I kind of go towards. And again, I steer towards the avoiding the grains. Grains bread, rice, cereals, pastas, these slow down digestive motility, movement in the bowel. And death begins in the gut. If you take care of one system, so, at Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center, our goal is to get your digestive tract healthy. 80% of all disease starts there. Therefore, 80% of all disease can be prevented there. And so we want to focus there. And people come in all the time and they necessarily don't have, they don't always have bloating and gas and reflux and indigestion as a sign of digestive issue. You got a question there?
Yes, sir. We got a question, Dr. Chapa. Stacy, and I'm not going to say this right, but can you see that the question as well? So it says, what about, and then it's erythritol,
Erythritol.
Yeah, thoughts on that?
So thank you, Stacy. And I know you, Stacy. Thanks for tuning in here on KHEA Radio. Erythritol isn't anything with an OL at the end of it. Xylitol, erythritol. Erythritol is an alcohol sugar. So what an alcohol sugar is, it is a healthy, okay substitute sugar. However, you have to listen to your body. So for the healthier I get, the more my body tells me what I can and can't do. And sometimes that's a pain in the tail end, but sometimes it's also a blessing in disguise as well. This alcohol sugars can definitely disrupt digestive flow and create a little irritation if you overindulge. Like I make this really good keto cookie dough, and Swerve, which is a stevia erythritol mix, or nice. There's another one out there that I use that, and I'm drawing a blank on the name because
keto cookie dough.
Oh my gosh, it's heaven, and they even. And then Lily's chocolate chip cookies even have chocolate chips have a stevia based chocolate chip with a that has a little bit of erythritol and stevia in it. Well, if I overindulge in that, and if I have patients that overindulge in that, one of the things that they suffer with is digestive irritation. They get a little gassy, and that's the worst thing that's really going to happen. And maybe some diarrhea and some digestive irritation. Okay. You can, however, if you do overindulge, and that's daily consumption, if you overindulge, you can disrupt some of the ecology in the gut. So sugar is not our friend. I mean, it really isn't. But as a safe substitute, it's not sprinkling chlorine over your favorite dish or putting in a biochemical warfare agent like aspartame into your blood supply. All right. So stevia is a 2,000-year-old Peruvian herb. Xylitol xylitol is neat because it's a 5-carbon compound as opposed to a 6-carbon sugar molecule, and bacterium in your teeth or in your mouth cannot break it down. So xylitol is a very known healthy sugar gum that can actually prevent dental cavities from forming because the bacteria try to eat it, but they can't digest it. And then they starve on trying to break this stuff down and therefore don't tear up your teeth. Wow. That's pretty interesting. Yeah. So we have another question. This is from Angie Butler, who we found out has about 20 chickens at her place in Santa Fe. And we got really excited. I'm really wanting some eggs. I know, I was too. So Angie has a question. She said, as a diabetic, what is the safest sugar substitute? So I would absolutely steer you away from sugar at all costs, but stevia would be a safe sugar substitute. But you really want to develop your bitter palate. So I would want to know, are you type 1 diabetic? Are you type 2? Did you develop it 5 years ago, 15 years ago? Are you on insulin yet? Are you not on insulin yet? Because these are all factors. I have a gentleman right now that's been 20 years type 2 diabetic, and we've officially, for the last 4 weeks, we have got him completely off all medications, and his blood sugar is running 95 to 102 first thing in the morning, which is phenomenal for a type 2 diabetic that has been struggling for 20 plus years. Wow. Can you tell us more about that keto cookie dough that you make? I feel like I saw Kurt's eyes just kind of glow ding, and then he was working on some stuff, but there was a little bit of drool coming out. What's up with that? Yeah, so for I guess 3 years ago, I started doing keto, got really heavy into keto, and was experimenting with the way of the keto lifestyle. Sure, yeah. I went to a program up in Austin called the KetoCon. And there was no doubt. And
I
there
love
was
it.
36 hours, hour, like with a 5-minute break in between, of different speakers from all over the world came in for this event. And some of these were professionals, some were not professionals, some were, dabbling, but they all had a voice and an experience. And man, oh man, I'm telling you, they had ideas out the wazoo. And I'll tell all my keto following companions out there, there's two camps. There's the one camp of keto followers that are dairy friendly, and there's the camp that I follow, which is the non-dairy consuming. And this keto cookie dough falls in that non-dairy consuming because dairy is the number 2 most inflammatory thing you can put in your body. I could even make a case that it very well could be the number 1 because I see it so much in practice that patients coming in, if I can get them to stop doing dairy products, milk, cheese, yogurt, sour cream, ice cream, creamer in their coffee, whey proteins, that their body will perform better for them. But this cookie dough was just a nice, gave you a sensation of a sweet taste in your mouth whenever you're on keto. And keto is really you're eating vegetables and meat, and so it's a little boring at times. And you have sweet, sour, salty, bitter palates, and sometimes not exercising that sweet palate is you feel lonely. Isn't that right, Curt?
Yeah, it gets a little sad without the sweet.
I don't get sad in the moment. Maybe afterwards, because I'm all out of it.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Is whenever you don't put it in your body, you get sad, and we don't want Curt to be the sadless Casper.
Yeah, we have another question. This is from Vanessa, who she owns Fit 365, and she said, "Have we talked about intermittent fasting? And if not, what do you think about that?"
Love intermittent fasting. One of the simplest ways I think it was the gal for the diabetes to reverse diabetes. What happens on any diet that is keto friendly, paleo friendly, Whole30 friendly, low carb friendly, or intermittent fasting is what you eat's important, but what you don't eat is more important. And what we've learned is that people, when they start taking these inflammatory foods, so the top 4 most common food allergens, the allergy foods that we have are wheat, dairy, corn, and soy, peanuts, chocolate as number 5 and 6. We find that what we are consuming in these things we're consuming inflammation, and we're basically feeding kerosene to a fire that's raging in our bodies. And that happens day after day, week after week, month after month. And we start experiencing symptom patterns that you weren't genetically born with. So intermittent fasting, had a guy come in yesterday. He does, I think it's a 14-10 program. I have patients that do 16-8, where they fast for the 16 and they eat in an 8-hour window. And if you think about it, what you eat's important, but what you don't eat is more important. And when you eat is another factor there. So you're giving your body plenty of time throughout the day to process that food that you consumed inside that 8-hour window. And so I love intermittent fasting. I think that is an amazing way to balance out blood sugar and to reset your metabolism. And I was just reading a book. I'll see if I can pull it up for you guys. It's called The Diabetes Code, and it was by, Dr. Fong, and it was built off of some of Joel Fuhrman's work, who was a medical doctor that was Fuhrman did stuff with juicing and all kinds of other things back in the day, and but Dr. Fong kind of picked a lot of this idea around fasting. I don't see his first name, but it's Dr. Fong, and it's called The Diabetes Code, and it's all about intermittent fasting, reversing diabetes. And, just a great tool. And I want people to look at diets like tools. So, the detox that I have you guys do, it's a tool. And it's training you to not give in to those sweet sensations day in and day out, month after month. Okay, because when you put nothing but processed food and sugars in, you ever wonder why, the famous Lay's potato chip says, "I bet you can't what."
Eat just one.
That's right. And now, good marketing, because you knew that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their marketing campaign is such that you can't. Why do you think they bet you can't eat just one?
Because they know that I guess the way we're programmed, they're probably like want more. You need the taste.
They chemically alter the chip.
Wow.
The chip never loses the law of diminishing returns. If you eat big old pizza shows up, you can eat it, but sooner or later you're not going to want another slice.
Yeah.
Right? The chips are not that way. They're not programmed that way. They have the things like MSG. They have preservatives in it. They got chemicals in it that drive sensation that you want over and over and over, like a fiend, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Right now,
we don't want to be fiends, do we?
I do not.
No, we don't want to be fiends.
No, unless it's for something good, like I'm fiending for exercise and water. I need my water.
Yeah.
Right now, it's 9:01. You're listening to KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. We're hanging out with Dr. Aaron Chapa. Dr. Chapa, do you want to kind of introduce yourself, where you're located,
absolutely.
and what you do?
My name's Dr. Aaron Chapa. I own Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center. God has been good to let us service this area for the last 13 years, and we're very thankful to be growing. We have an amazing team at our office, and we got a lot of potential for bringing people into our office that have all kinds of health problems. We're located in League City. Our phone number is 281-554-8600. Our website is justlivewell.com. We have great surveys and quizzes up on our website. And, our message is simple. We get sick people well. We believe that all life starts and stops at the cellular level, and nutrition is the fundamental backbone that drives good health. It also is the fundamental disease-forming substance as well if you eat the wrong stuff. And so, I wanted to say, good job, Jocelyn, for 64 ounces of water and not eat until 11 this morning. So, she's already got her water kicking. Isn't that awesome? I'm already at this is 30 ounces, and this is my second one. So nice. Somewhere between 40 and 60 ounces, and it's only 9 o'clock. So
we've started grabbing the gallon from the gas stations every morning, and that's what we do every day.
Nice.
And
that's your game, right? Is to play the game of getting your finishing that by 5 o'clock. And that's the game I play. So as I always make sure I'm done with a gallon of water by 5.
You're listening to KHEA Radio. If you're watching on Facebook, please feel free to share this video out. We want to make sure that everybody on your friends list has an opportunity to ask Dr. Chapa any questions they have. There's a lot of people that are suffering from sickness, illness, and kind of diseases that we can give a shot with to try and heal it with food. And it sounds kind of like weird when you first hear it, but like it makes sense the more you think about it and you hear the information and the science is there to back it up. So we do have a question from Daniel Young. He asks, how do I detox my body?
All right. Well, give us a call, 281-554-8600, buddy. We can help you detox your body. One of the easiest ways we can detox your body is let's talk about the difference between cleansing and detoxing. Okay. Cleansing is a dietary shift and change. You're just taking foods away from yourself and you're allowing your body to cleanse out what it doesn't need. When we go through a detox process, we're converting chemicals through a process of, I'm going to use a big word, cytochrome P450 enzyme system. It's where your body converts fat-soluble compounds into intermediate metabolites and then puts them into a position where they can be peed out, sweated out, breathed out, pooped out, and so that they're removed from circulation, so to speak. But pulling toxins out of that fat-soluble state is not an easy process. And that's where people get this negative sensation of the word detox. Mm-hmm. People get headaches, or they get, tired, or they feel, that they're just like this is more than they can tolerate. They're more hungry than they've ever felt. Their blood sugar's changing and shifting, and they're feeling those swings throughout the day. Detox, it doesn't have to be that aggressive. We can slow it down to meet the pace. So, Daniel, if you're new to detox, which it sounds like if you're asking, you are, which is great. I'm excited. I was, 24 when I did my first detox, 21-day detox. And it was absolutely the most amazing thing ever. I had to find a program that I felt I could trust. And not all detoxes are created equal. Some of them drive the body too hard. Some of them are not going to allow the exit channels to have time to process all the stuff that we're pushing out of those fat cells. So we have to, know things about you. Are you having a bowel movement every day? How many bowel movements do you have a day? What time of day do you have a bowel movement? Because if you don't answer these questions appropriately, which by the way, you're supposed to have 2 to 3 bowel movements a day. You're supposed to have those bowel movements typically earlier in the day. You should have your first bowel movement within 15 minutes of waking up, every day. Otherwise, your body's slow and sluggish. There's people that come in to see me that are experiencing headaches. They have allergies. They have heart issues. They have skin issues. They can't get out of bed in the morning, and they don't have a bowel movement until 5 p.m. It's like carrying around 2 extra cinder blocks, throughout your day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what a struggle that must be,
Yeah,
right?
it's no
So
fun.
what we do is we've got a 7-day detox program for the people that can't quite envision that 21 days, or if they're just kind of curious. We have a 10-day blood sugar detox program. We have a 14-day detox program for the I don't have, maybe this one we typically use for the person that says, I don't have 21 days in my schedule, but I got the next 14. What can I do in that time frame? And then we have the ultimate detox program, but it's the 21 day. And I think it's the ultimate because, one, it supports the kidneys, exit channels, the skin, the lungs, the lymph, and the liver, and your digestive tract. And it sets the habit. The habit is setting that sail that I'm going to, one, focus on my health for the next 21 days. I'm going to drink more water every day. 1 liter per 50 pounds of body weight, or 32 ounces, depending on your measuring style, per 50 pounds of body weight. Huge, huge, huge. And then we come in and we use supplements to drive that P450 enzyme system so that your body can get that old stuff out of you that you've been having caked up and stored up in your body.
Mm-hmm. So we have Angie Butler. She asked, thoughts on a 3-day liquid fast? So I guess that just means like juicing or maybe.
Yeah,
I've done something like this. We've talked about this, I think, before on a previous show. I've done 2 3-day only liquid fasts. And, one of the things that was really intriguing was you're not eating food. And we found out, and you found out, that there is a way to do a liquid fast and still be able to maintain it.
I think part of that is just, because sometimes it's hard to say, but I think we're addicted to food at times, like addicted to not using it to fuel our body, but it's just like, hey, it's there. I'm going to eat this cupcake.
That's right. That's right. And again, most of life is convenient. I mean, that's what y'all said earlier. It's like you go into the detox, you set your mind that I can do anything for the next 7, 10, 14, 21 days, right? And you have an end game, and you're like, I'm going to do this hardcore. I'm going to stick to this so that I can feel the shifts and the changes in my body, because what you eat's important, but what you don't eat's more important. By taking these substances out of your body for 1 day, Angie, or 3 days, it is a wonderful fast. You could even, to help a process like that, these small intermittent fasting days, they are harder because you're not putting in any calories during those days, minus, except for the what you're getting from water, cayenne pepper. If you add like a master's cleanse type fasting program where they have a little bit of apple cider vinegar and cayenne into a water, and so it curbs your appetite and you can get through it. But it is mentally challenging. And I have patients, I know churches that do 20 and 30-day water fast, but most of the time people can't do it that way. So what I have found is, I have a good friend of mine. He takes the 15th of every month. It's like set in stone, no matter if it's an anniversary, no matter if it's a wedding, no matter if he's having communion at church. Like, he doesn't deviate from this law for himself. And on the 15th of every month, he doesn't eat anything. It's a fasting day. And he's a bodybuilder too. So, I mean, even with his level of discipline and need for calories in his workout regimen, on the 15th, he ain't eating. He only drinks water. That's it. And so 3 days is a great thought too, because what are you doing in that 3-day window? What you eat's important, but what you don't eat. You're not putting in anything inflammatory. It's giving your body time to heal, to rest, and let the body process like it's supposed to. So great question, Angie.
Yeah.
One of the things that was really tough.
That's
for
right,
me.
Kurt. Hang on a second. I got to say this. I'm sorry to interrupt. Liquid cheese doesn't count.
Wow.
I like
Velveeta.
Vanessa, you are a gem. Thank you for
Yeah,
that.
he puts it in the crock pot, and then it's like, hey, this is a liquid diet.
Wow.
Yeah, just like a little in the bathtub, in the hot tub, Kurt in the queso.
I've only done that once or twice. Only once or twice.
He's
I
like
did have
doing
I
taco
did have a
facial.
lot of Wisconsin cheese soup,
Facial.
Oh,
that
my
I had
goodness.
to, soak my body in.
Yeah.
One of the things that I think I talked to my mom. She's visiting for the week, about kind of her stuff. And one of the things she had mentioned was she was talking to a doctor, and she's like, well, I really want to just like do a smoothie, but I'd rather eat the veggies instead. Is it better to eat the veggies versus blending it in a blender and having a shake?
So, here comes some new questions, right? So the answer is both are great options. Is it better? I think that when we heavily cook our food, we burn out a lot of the nutrients in our food. And a lot of times when you do like smoothies and stuff like that, it's more in a raw state. So I think from a perspective of nutritional content, a smoothie blended up, or a raw salad, or even raw vegetables that we can eat, the closer to raw that we eat, it does have more nutritional value. The more we cook it, the harder we cook it, the hotter the skillet is, or the fire is, we burn out a lot of the biophotons in the food. And good.
Does that go for all food?
Absolutely.
Like not just vegetables? Like,
even meats, right?
Okay.
And that's why you can eat some, like, for example, what is chicken known for if you undercook it? Salmonella,
yeah.
right? And so we use fire to burn out any bacteria that can be there. Well, there's value in that, but there's also value in, like, meat has enzymes in it that help break itself down. That's why we shouldn't be cooking, our red meats and things to the nth degree of well done, where it's like a piece of leather and you can, have a fight with it on the plate. You want it to, I always say, I want my meat to a good veterinarian to be able to, get that thing up and kicking again.
Oh my gosh.
And I mean, because the enzymes are there to help break it down in my body, as well as my own digestive enzymes are present to help break it down.
Cool.
I was going to ask, one of the things that she's doing is she's doing a Weight Watchers diet. And so I think what brought up the
and she's had
question,
success. She's lost 70 pounds, which is great.
She's done fantastic stuff. But she said, if I eat the veggies raw, it's 0 points. But if I mix it in a blender, it becomes 1 point. And I'd rather, have the 0 points versus the 1 point.
Yeah. So she's on a calorie, restricted diet. And I'm not quite sure why the calorie program she's using would add a disadvantage for blending unless there's something being added.
I think what she was saying was that it takes more for your body to break it down, like whenever you chew something and then your body's working on the inside. So if you just drink it, it's already broken down and your body just absorbs it or breaks it down more. I don't know.
I mean, so on that conversation, when we blend, we're doing some of the mouth digesting chewing. And even whenever we juice, we're not supposed to just drink our food or drink our calories. Even if we're on a juicing program, you're supposed to put the juice in your mouth and chew, masticate, put your teeth together, squeeze your teeth together, let it feel the juice inside go inside the gums. Yeah, there you go, Kurt.
Not the mic. Don't chew on the mic, Kurt.
Those are
Oh,
expensive,
wait, what?
buddy. Man.
We already replaced that once. Sorry, Dr.
Yeah,
Choppa.
it's okay. You got to keep him caged up.
Don't.
And but we're supposed to chew. Like last week or the week before, somebody said, don't forget to chew your water. Somebody said, what does that mean? All your juicy fruits, right? Oranges and watermelon and pineapple. That chewing factor can bring in water as well. And so, I think that either is acceptable. A lot of times people complain about eating raw food as they get bloated or gassy when they eat raw food. And that's an indication that they have a lack of enzymes to break down food. They have worn out some of their digestive capabilities because they probably are coming from a high processed diet.
You know, one of the things that, okay, so I want to dive in because we're still waiting on a few questions. If you have a questions for Dr. Aaron Chapa, put it in the Facebook comment. You can also give us a call at 346-704-1806. One of the things, my mom had stage 4 throat cancer, never smoked a cigarette in her life, but still had throat cancer. And since doing the chemo and everything, there's just a lot of things like inside of her mouth and stuff like that that make it really difficult for her to eat different foods and do different things. And one of the things that I've noticed is she constantly, like every single second, has to be like sipping on something.
Yeah.
So whether that's like Gatorade or water. And she does a lot of like Diet Coke and stuff like that. That's still bad. Should she be able to switch and just be doing water? And would that help her in her recovery of dealing with the chemo?
Yeah. So, okay. And again, there's, in every question, there's always a story, right? Like there's a history, and that history is what's driving that person's question. And so, you know, when we answer questions here on the radio, we're being general. So like I'm talking to the masses. I don't know all of your personal stories and cases. And so Curt brings up a really great point. I mean, so with this situation, when you've done chemo and radiation, those are toxins that got locked up inside your tissues. And what she's actually feeling, that sensation of I need something in my mouth, or I need that wet sensation, I'm thirsty, or whatever that it is, that it's making her want to reach for chewing something or putting something in her mouth, a liquid or whatever, getting some kind of flavor, so that she's trying to offset, she's managing the side effects of the chemo and the radiation. And so what we have to do is, number one, we want to, if she's going to do Gatorade and Pedialyte and things like that, we've got to teach her that those things are nutrient void, meaning no value. And we've got to get her onto liquid substances. We use a product in our office, and we use it on our detox called Greens 8000, which is 21 servings of fruits and vegetables packed in a powder. We also use Ultima Refresher, which is electrolytes and minerals that taste like lemon or raspberry or grape or orange. And all these are different tools, liquid tools, so to speak, to help get nutrients-rich foods into our body, and to offset some of the deficiencies that her body is expressing. I've got patients that typically have those sensations, or they have that metallic taste in their mouth. I mean, y'all might not know this, but I mean, patients come in and they say, I'll ask them. And I say, do you have any metallic taste in your mouth? And they say, oh yeah, all the time. Well, that's typically because they live in they work in a sick building. A sick building means it's moldy, or it's got asbestos, or it's got lead paint, or it's a new build. So it's got a lot of fumes from all the glues and the formaldehydes from our paints and the building materials, right? And all that stuff, the body has to process. And so it goes into the body, and the efficiency of your liver and kidneys to filter out all that mess determines whether or not you're going to taste it in your mouth. If you got metal trash in your teeth, you know, your mom might have metal in your teeth, and that's mercury fillings, that's crowns. You know, that gives me an idea for a good show, is bring in one of my biological dentist friends and have a discussion about teeth and how important your teeth are. So to this question, we want to start loading your mom up on minerals and electrolytes from good sources, so that her body can offset. So like if there was a way I could unify a unit, and make, one toxic unit equals this, right? For every toxic unit that you have in your body, just to make it simple, this isn't exactly how it works, but just for conversation's sake, 2 to 3 minerals are tied up. So you lose minerals, and minerals are used in everything: mental function, energy pathways, immune activation, digestive repair, regeneration, muscle function, physiology, all need adequate minerals to be present. And so when you have gone through chemo or radiation, we have a program for you. I would call it Life After Chemo. And it's a program designed to help your body replenish what it needs so that it can discard what it doesn't need. A lot of times, toxins just are filling receptor site space. They're taking up residency, and we got to kick those little things out so that your body can function without the burden? Good question.
Right now it's 9:20. You're listening to KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. We have Dr. Chapa in studio answering questions and just letting us know how to live well and be good. But
hey, look at that. We serve Ultima as juice at our parties for all our kids, and we label it Chapa Juice. Thank you, Miss Am. That makes me so happy.
Speaking of juice, what's up with high pulp OJ?
So
Somebody asked.
So most of the OJs that you're buying in the grocery stores, they have high fructose corn syrup, and a lot of times, whenever we juice anything, it has a shortened lifespan.
Mm-hmm.
And think of how many oranges it took to fill up that whole juice container. So a lot of times we overindulge in juice. We buy juice that is loaded with extra sugar. And that is not the kind of juice we want. The extra pulp juice would definitely be better. You need that fiber to offset some of that, the fructose burden that it carries. But I would personally, I don't give my kids juice unless it's like the Ultima Chapa juice that Miss Amder was recommending to her kids. And I do the same thing. My kid literally does lemonade stands outside with lemonade Ultima. And, my neighbors don't realize that quarter and 50 cents, man, they're getting some high quality lemonade. You know what I mean? And so, but I would do freshly squeezed way over, or freshly juiced if you have a juicer, before I would ever drink it out of a tub of a store.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. I guess those orange, like the shelf life of like a fresh, and that's why they have to add that stuff, right?
That's right. That goes for any juicing period. When you buy, different companies offer a juice, so to speak. The number one problem they deal with is rancidity, and that's why they have to add stuff to it to make it last. But man, the minute that thing is juiced, it is very sensitive to the environment. That's oxidation, and that is everywhere once it's taken out of its state that God intended it to be in.
Yeah, the fruit. If you have a question for Dr. Chapa, please feel free to let us know. You can send us a text 346-704-1806, or you can ask us on our Facebook feed. You can call, email us, get a hold of us any way that you can. Feel free to share this video out if you're watching on social media. We want to make sure that everybody in your circle, everybody in your influence knows there's a better way to live than be medicated, than to eat food that's, I guess, processed. What's up with like processed food? We're kind of talking a little bit about how they preserve the orange juice and makes it okay.
Yeah. So, again, for you guys just tuning in, this is Dr. Aaron Chapa, and we own Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center. We're in League City, Texas, and our website's justlivewell.com. We have great information about detoxes and healthy living up on our website, as well as our phone number, 281-554-8600. When we come talk about food, I mean, everything really does revolve around food. What social event doesn't have food as a key player? I mean, even if it's a hors d'oeuvre tray, a small deal, it's all food is like, well, we got to have something to eat there. Right. And a lot of the things that are put out, in front of us are highly processed materials. And so I always just look at the basics. When we look at wheat, for example, wheat is mostly laden with pesticide. And when it being laden with pesticide, that's what's really causing a lot of people having this quote unquote allergen to gluten. And then they hybridize gluten into it, which means they manufacturally process, they squeeze extra, gluten into a synthetic gluten into the product. And there's preservatives that have to be added to make sure that wheat product doesn't mold on you or go bad. I mean, could you think of the shelf aisle, that whole aisle that is loaded with bread, and if they had to replace that every 1 to 3 days because of a shelf life issue, right? A lot of that stuff can sit there for a week to a week and a half, maybe even 2 weeks, and never seem to lose any level of freshness. I mean, we ought to do an experiment. Actually, we will do an experiment. I want, I haven't gone to a McDonald's. I don't even know where the nearest one is in years. Okay. I bet Curt might know.
Closest one is either on exit 10 in Lamarck or 517 in Dickens.
You're so funny. So here's the experiment, and I'm not picking on McDonald's. This is just an example because I've seen this done.
We don't want to hurt them.
Absolutely. We don't.
Yeah.
And so this is not at all to, poke fun at other people's businesses at all.
Sure.
But let's buy a Big Mac. Oh, not a Big Mac, but a Happy Meal little burger thing.
And eat it?
No.
Oh,
we're
wait, what?
literally going to put it in a
Time capsule.
in a time capsule, so to speak, but not airtight. We're going
Okay.
to let air hit it, and we're going to see what it looks like over the next month.
Oh,
that
I
we're
can
doing the radio.
tell you.
And
Because they've done them before.
Well, I know, but let's do our own experiment.
Those could have been fake.
That's right. What if
I don't
we,
know
Fake
that.
news.
let's make sure we don't have hashtag fake news. Let's have real live experimentation, because supposedly people have these things for years and they look as healthy and wonderful as they've ever looked. And how is that possible?
And then we'll have Curt try it a year from now. We'll take a bite and we'll see.
And
And he's going to be like, I'm full. This is
Yeah,
good.
that's right.
I feel fine.
I feel fine. Yeah. So, but here's the deal: processed food, when you put all those preservatives into it,
Yeah.
what do you think that's doing in your body? It's clogging the system.
I was going
bottom
to say,
line.
I don't know. I have no idea what it's doing.
Well, and there's probably some truth there, but the reality is it's clogging us up.
Okay.
If it can hold on the shelf, so to speak, in the air and the elements, and seemingly never go bad, we have to question whether or not it's real food, right? I mean, and if you eat make-believe food, the best you'll ever have is make-believe health.
And we talked about this a couple weeks ago, that these foods that are not going to go bad, that are preserved, are for they have a purpose, like a time of famine, or a time whenever you need to just have something I don't know. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Because you were saying the wheat and stuff, it was for famine time, and that's what you kind of stored up in your storehouse, and then when you needed it.
That's right. And so we homeschool our kids, so we go to homeschool conventions, and there's always this one booth there, and they are like the grain people. They have this special grain machine that will break down wheat, and you can make a homemade bread out of freshly ground wheat. And they say that it has less than a 3 to 4 day shelf life once you grind it.
Wow.
But when you put all these preservatives in it, it's weeks at a time. And so when we look at grains, all the diets that are out there that are worth their salt, so to speak, they are a no grain diet. And a no grain diet has always been my number one push to help people move towards. Now, I might not paint that picture on day one because, we have to meet people where they're at. A lot of I take wheat away from you, and a lot of you guys go, what do I eat? Right? Because the average American's eating cereal, which most cereals out there, the box has more nutrition in it than the actual cereal does. And they eat then bread sandwiches for lunch. They eat crackers and a Coke in the afternoon, and then they have a pasta, dish in the evening with some chicken on it.
Garlic bread,
right? And so it's grain all
Right.
day long. Well, grains weren't designed to be consumed as a staple. They're crutches. When we're in struggling times, when we're in famine, we reach towards grains as a substitute to help buy us time till we get back to real food again. And so with the advancement of technology and the law changes that allow us to transport foods across state lines, and we can preserve things for, you'd be surprised, even in the organic market, what they still allow in to your organic food and still label it organic according to the FDA standards. And we aren't supposed to be eating grain products day in and day out. We're supposed to be eating things that walk, crawl, swim, fly, or grow out of the ground, and or off of a tree. And when we eat these fresh foods, and these foods that are raised off the land, that aren't even the cow that you're eating or is fed corn and a lot of oats and stuff right before slaughter to fatten them up, because it's all a weight gain. To make money, you have a fat cow. Well, if you want a fat cow, how do you get it? You feed them grains. Well, if you feed a cow grains to fatten them up. What do you think grains are going to do to your waistline? You know, what is it going to
Fatten you up,
It's
okay.
going to fatten us up.
Yeah.
And that's what's driving our insulin surges. And diabetes, guys, is all about like insulin, you know? And that's one of the things about keto and intermittent fasting and paleo and Whole30 and all these things that, you know, we've found to be successful is when we take people off of the grains, they aren't getting the insulin spikes that they were getting prior, and their body is not feeding the inflammatory cascade of disease. They are now stopping and slowing down that cascade of disease and allowing that process to reverse itself. Anything that your body can develop, it can undevelop. Now, is there a too late? Of course there is. But I've had a 95-year-old man on multiple, you know, Alzheimer's medications, and we had him fully functional for a 95-year-old man the last 2 years of his life. His daughter said the absolute best thing they ever did was bring him in. We took this guy, not knowing anybody, completely being, just reading his little book and going to 4 different, family reunion functions and interacting with his family, even at 95. So it doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter your symptoms. It doesn't matter what you're dealing with. If your body can develop it, it can undevelop it. And God designed it that way. And that's the beauty about this work is we're just teaching people how to live better, be better, stay better, one bite at a time.
You know, one of the things that I found to be the most difficult part when we did the 21-day challenge earlier was I like peanut butter. I really like peanut butter. And we couldn't do peanuts or any kind of nuts at all during
The detox.
What makes peanut butter and nuts? Because they always say like, oh, just go and grab some, pistachios or almonds or anything like that. Why is peanuts in that specific 21-day cleanse
such a problem? Well, so most nuts, and I bet you if you're sitting over your computer, you pull up nuts. Most of the nut products that you pull up, it'll say roasted nuts. Okay. And so the fastest way to kill a monkey is to feed them roasted nuts.
Really?
I'm going to say it again. The fastest way to kill a monkey is to feed them roasted nuts. Now, how does that apply to us? We're mammals. I'm not calling you a monkey.
Gardy, I was going to say, well, let's experiment.
Let's see what he's pointing at. Gardy. Gardy's not. He's not amused.
I'm not. I'm unfazed.
So, roasted nuts are highly inflammatory. Peanuts are genetically engineered. Cashews, secondly most processed nut out there. Pistachios, the most. These 3 nut categories: peanuts, cashews, and pistachios are your most moldy nuts. So not only are they processed inappropriately, not only are they roasted, they are also moldy, nuts. And so if you look at like a pecan that fell off a tree too early, or even one that fell off at the right time, maybe before the squirrel got it, right? So we have a chance to do this experiment.
Mm-hmm.
You look at how many layers it takes to get to the nut. And there's a soft overlay. Then there's a hard shell inside of that. And then once you break that shell open, there's little, fibers and filaments that prevent the nut from just easily being bit into.
Right.
So if you had to crack your own nuts, how many nuts would you actually eat if you had to do your own cracking? And the answer, hopefully, if you're realistic, you would say, yeah, if it's not convenient, we're not going to do it, right?
Yeah. One of the things, so I like the Walmart brand of peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just looking at the ingredients on here. It says peanuts, sugar, contains 2% or less of hydrogenated vegetable oil, cottonseed oil, soybean oil, rapeseed oil, detox or dextrose, salt, molasses, and then something else. Is that something that you shouldn't be doing? Because if I'm doing peanut butter, that's the kind that I'm.
You're really wanting to not let this peanut butter talk go, just like trying to bring it on.
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah.
Scroll down just a little bit.
So right now we're talking to Dr. Aaron Chapa. I think me and Curt are going to be starting a 21-day cleanse on Monday. If you want to join us on this journey, let us know, and we'll be able to get you that information, how you can contact Dr. Chapa.
All right. So getting back on this this nut. So go back and you always, this is a great, thank you for bringing this one up. So if you look, and I can't see it from here, but it says start with cottonseed oil, then it says rapeseed oil, and then what's the one after?
Soybean oil. Yeah.
So those 3 oils right there are fake oils.
Okay.
Those are your 4 deadly food additives. That's that partial. When I use the word partially hydrogenated oil, those 3 words are AKA partially hydrogenated oil, right? And those are the substances that will clog up the liver. So that lets you know that they're highly processed, that they're not healthy, oils that they're putting into that nut butter. So now in that case, I'm shocked. A lot of times it does indeed say, and if I had maybe the front label, it would say roasted nuts, but they're roasted. Even that freshly ground nut butter that you get at a HEB, for example, it says roasted nuts. And so we want the best nuts to consume are almonds, walnuts, pecans. But to answer the original question about why we don't do it on detox is we are taking a vacation from anything that's stressful for our digestive system. And so we give people a 21-day vacation from all stress and stimulants, all sugar and caffeine, all alcohol. Why? Because your body needs the break. But we still want to fuel your body so that you can get through 21 days and allow your blood sugar to reset and allow you to start developing lifestyle habits. Because, if I just did a 21-day fast with no food, well, that's actually easier than me asking you to change your lifestyle. Remember how hard it was for you, Curt, when you had to go shopping?
Yeah.
And you were like, well, what do I eat? And then you were trying new things. Look at that. Remember what we've talked about is the average American eats the same 11 meals over and over again. If in the journey of getting healthy, we can change, let's say that your 11 meal choices are poor choices, right? And then we can change that one detox at a time, and we change one meal to be a good one. And so of your 11, familiar meals, one of them's healthy. The second detox, it's 2. The third detox, it's 3. Well, inside of a short 5-year span of time, you've influenced the next 50, 60 years of your life, because everything you do today influences the next 15 years of your life. And by changing your diet and then knowing what kind of nutrients we can do to supplement right. So at our office, Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center, visit us at justlivewell.com. Call us at 281-554-8600. If you get sick, if you got a fever, you got a cold, we looked at diet also. Maybe if you're into party foods, maybe you are in a family where everybody's birthday, like in ours, is all April, right? Or and so we've got like 8 celebrations to deal with in April. So it's a hard month to be on a diet, right? So that's not a good month for detox. Or what if somebody gets sick? And so if somebody gets sick during April, well, we don't just let the party continue. We have to look at what's happening and then stop the problem. So that's take out mucus forming foods. That's milk, cheese, yogurt, sour cream, ice cream, whey protein. That's take out things that slow down bowel motility. That's grains. That's bread, cereals, pastas, crackers. We take those things away so that the digestive tract has an opportunity to slow down. We do a small mini detox, maybe a 7-day, we take a little time. Or let's use some herbs to influence bile flow from your liver to your digestive system to enhance absorption or create kind of a mucilaginous membrane in that digestive tract to heal any irritation down there. 80% of all of this starts in the gut. 80% can be prevented in the gut. So if we work on and make the gut healthy and strong, you're going to be able to have fun when you go on a cruise or a vacation with your family and not have to be so restrictive and not ever eating anything fun ever, because that's just not realistic, I don't think.
Right. So we have a question. Somebody texted this in and they asked what your thoughts are on Dave's Keller bread. So I Googled it because I'd never heard of it. So this is a picture. I'm not sure if you've ever seen it or have you heard of it. It has a pretty cool little logo. Dude looks like he's jacked.
Yeah, he's totally. So let me tell you about Dave's Killer Bread. Since you got it on my screen over here, I'll kind of take a peek at it. So I've had this bread before. It's absolutely, from a bread perspective, it's wonderful tasting. But it's still grains. And so it doesn't matter. The grain conversation still is the grain conversation. A no grain diet means, sorry, Dave, you can't have you can't be selling us your killer bread.
But Dave is jacked.
He is. He looks
He's jacked
awesome.
playing the guitar.
And who wouldn't want that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's such great marketing. Great work, Dave. But here's the thing. And I bet you, if you ask the person that texts what they're referencing, there's a guy named Stephen Gundry. He's a medical doctor out in California that talks about Dave's Killer Bread influencing one of his patients negatively, and he calls Dave out, and not because he doesn't like Dave, but because grains are high in lectins, and lectins are a chemical makeup, going back to the original conversation that we had earlier about, when should we be consuming grains, when should we not, in times of famine. It's a crutch, not a staple. Well, when we're talking about this concept of lectins, a lectin is God's way of preserving the plant before, and not letting a human or an animal consume it until it's ripe and ready. And so when we overindulge, and a lot of times what we're doing in this country and in this world is we're importing foods that have been pre-picked away from their mother plant. The mother plant never has an opportunity to downregulate the lectin concentration of the food. That means it's picked prematurely. And what we do, like with apples, for example, we bring them into a store green, and we spray them with this, radiation substance that makes it turn that beautiful color we all like so much. But the seed can be, still high, dense lectin. And if you eat a green apple, not a Granny Smith, but a true unripe green apple, do you know what happens to your belly?
What?
Irritation, digestive complaints, upset tummy, diarrhea, bloating. And so as an animal, being an animal instinctive creature, if they eat something that makes their belly hurt, do you think they're going to eat it again? No.
Right.
But what if the plant wants to reproduce itself, several miles down the road? Well, it produces its fruit or its crop. Something eats it. That something then travels on down the way, poops out the seed, right? And it sits there in around the dirt and the tree and the rain and the soil and the sunshine, and all of a sudden it grows and it reproduced itself. God said, be fruitful and multiply.
Mm-hmm.
When he said that, he didn't I don't think he just said it to just us humans. He said that to
everything
with life, and be fruitful and multiply. So even the plants are designed to be fruitful and multiply.
Yeah, one more thing on bread and kind of like low grain. Me and Kurt, we are on a Facebook group called Bay Area Houston Food Lovers, and go figure, shocked, I know you are, but there's a bakery that people have been posting about, and they do like a keto safe bread. It looks delicious. And so that's something I need to remember what the name of that bakery is to it'd be interesting to go check that out and see. Do you have any experience with keto-friendly bread and keto-friendly stuff like that?
Yeah, so when it comes to, again, the grain conversation, I don't, because I don't consume it. Like, it's not something that I'm looking for in my own personal diet. But patients bring me stuff all the time, and we just have to break it down. Like with Kurt, he showed me his peanut butter, and I'm looking for the things that possibly are inflammatory. I look at Dave's bread, and I'm looking for, what else? Like, one thing you don't see in Dave's Killer Bread is you don't see the monothiamine nitrate, or I'm just drawing a blank on one of the synthetic B vitamins, and it doesn't have the refined carbohydrate grain. It doesn't have the processed grain, and that's why he's got a good bread company, right? And his bread is really good. But when you do a keto bread, typically there is a company that I saw at the KetoCon that was all coconut based, and guys, it tasted like a buttermilk biscuit. It was delicious, and it was all coconut flour, almond flour. And there are tons of great ways to do, go keto and go grain free on your bread and still indulge. Like, I make a pizza crust out of almond flour. That is heaven. My neighbor down the street, we call her Kika. She can cook anything. She's absolutely amazing. And we love you, Kika. And she makes a coconut flour crusted pizza. And It is absolutely heaven.
You know, like, okay, so my sister, she kind of agreed because she's been doing keto for a bit, and she said, well, most are made with almond flour. So I hear a lot about, like, you know, coconut flour, almond flour. What's up with like coconut sugar?
So coconut sugar is still going to be something that can potentially drive insulin, and anything
Okay.
that can potentially drive insulin can drive disease. And it's just an overindulgence. One of the
Right.
other our listeners here, thank you for that. And we love you guys' comments. We love you guys' questions. So please keep them coming, and we're going to try to get to all of them. Moderation's everything. And when we understand moderation, that's how it was originally designed. When it wasn't designed, I bet you can't eat just one. That never was designed in nature. I mean, if we all sat down and ate a bushel of apples together, I bet you everybody would stop at their 1-2 mark,
Yeah.
unless we're just competing on who can. It's like have you had the hot dog eating competitions? We have like apple eating competitions.
Have you ever heard of the 5-pound cinnamon roll eating competition?
No, I'd love to see. I like watching people do stuff like that,
Well-
but then I wonder to myself, how in the world does that? How does it? Did Kurt?
So we kind
Kurt's
of
got this.
hosted
I ate-
one.
Is that what happens?
Yeah,
So
you go
when
out of town and
the
we kind of
cat
fall off
leaves
the
and the
yes.
mice play. I get this. I see what's going on.
Man.
Man, I tell
Kurt,
you. Tell me about.
Share a little bit
Yeah,
about
what
your
happened?
experience.
It was good. I felt bloated for 13
72
days in a
hours?
row now. No, it's been 13 days.
It's still stuck in you.
I ate some crickets to try to see if they would go in there and digest it.
We did have crickets, but that's not why.
We
But
had
no,
crickets.
Yeah.
but yeah, 5-pound cinnamon roll right into this belly. I did 10 pounds of watermelon the night before.
So you really? So you ate the whole thing?
No, I didn't. I didn't finish it.
Not
Did
even
anybody finish it?
like half.
Yeah,
One
somebody,
guy did.
one guy did.
And how did he feel afterwards?
Well,
We
let's
can't talk
just
about that on
say-
the radio. What happened after he
But
finished?
he did win, and I don't know if he felt that good. But
It doesn't sound like
being
he
a
felt
winner
that good.
feels good.
I think,
yeah.
He got a big trophy.
man. I see.
We
That's
gave
just,
him a
I'm
big
not sure if
trophy.
that's the trophy.
There were
we
11.
need.
There was 11 people that tried it. It was
Oh my gosh!
the sugar. The amount of sugar from the frosting
oh
was what the worst part was.
gosh! Did you have a headache?
Oh, I know. I felt awful for days
Like,
afterwards.
okay, so give me like every symptom you can remember.
Again, moderation.
Yeah, that's
bloating,
definitely not moderation.
bloating. I felt tired. I felt like I had a headache.
Muscles were tense.
I think I lost muscle. We
Yeah.
had somebody, Vanessa. I don't know if she's still watching or not, but she did it, and she's a huge health nut and like owns a gym and everything. And she's like,
She did it.
Yeah.
she posted a picture the night before, and she's like, take a look at my 4-pack of abs, because this is the last time you'll see it. And literally, she's
Oh my
like, it was the
gosh.
worst, and she barely even ate anything, but she was
How did she
struggling.
She ate
even-
more than you.
No, she did not.
Yeah,
she
she
didn't even
did.
come close.
See, that's crazy. All right,
Come
so let's see. It looks like we got a couple other little questions that are popping over here. Well, most are made with. Oh yeah, okay. Oh, that was your.
That's my sister, Delicia. Yeah.
Hi, Delicia. I
And
did
so I think she said, and if I'm understanding correctly, yeah, she had asked about like almond and coconut flours. Are those okay to eat?
Yes. And so the to answer on that, coconut flours, almond flours are definitely better as opposed to the wheat and products that people are consuming on a day-to-day basis. So again, when it comes to eating any substance, I mean, I really do think we can overindulge in anything. I think that everything comes down to what you eat is important, but what you don't eat is more important. And sometimes I think when we don't eat, like this intermittent fasting conversation, when you give your body time to digest and you're not putting in stuff that stops it up, like that, even if you ate a pound of that 5-pound cinnamon roll,
You probably ate a pound.
I mean,
I ate probably 4.
the average American, that is crazy. Oh my stomach just went bloop. I'm thinking to myself. But the average American has between 10 and 15 meals packed up inside of them. I mean, think about that.
do you think he still has cinnamon roll packed inside? Is that possible?
I absolutely think. You see, the colon has got it's a muscle, right? And it flexes and it expands and contracts. And when that thing expands, the grain can fill up that space. And when that grain fills up that space, that it can cause a lazy colon. And I think that has what's led to a lot of, constipation in our society. And I think that it's caused, a lot of people to lose, surface area absorption on their digestive tract. And therefore they're malnourished, even eating good food when they eat it occasionally, and my job at Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center, we're in League City, Texas, 281-554-8600. We want to help. We want to teach people how to live better, be better, one bite at a time. We believe that all life starts and stops at the cellular level, and nutrition is the fundamental backbone that allows your body to heal well, or food will also be your destroyer, and it will tear you apart. I read this book one time by Napoleon Hill, and it was more or less, I can't remember the exact name of the title, but it was an interview with the devil, right? And he supposedly had this opportunity to interview the devil in a vision or a dream or something, and the devil was committed to truth. He had to, for the first time in his existence, tell the truth. And his secret to the demise of man is one of his secrets was gluttony. If he can turn your sewer system, your digestive tract, into a poison dump site inside of a living, working organism, us as humans, then we're going to feel like some of those symptoms that Curt was talking about: headachy, bloated, gassy. We're going to let the lady that had the six pack and said, "Here they go, they're going bye-bye." She's smart enough to know that wasn't a good decision. It was fun, but think about how if we clog up our system, and then that stuff has to circulate somewhere, and our body has to use secondary exit channels, your high lymph system, that's going to affect your ears, your eyes, your nose, your throat. Now we built a whole specialty around it called, an ENT doctor. Or we have asthma specialists, or we have allergens in our lungs, or we get pneumonias, walking pneumonias. And what winds up happening is these lung issues are your body expressing toxins through the lung capacity. Or we have high blood pressure, or swelling in the joints, or we have issues where we feel bloating throughout, or water retention. That's our kidneys being overtaxed and overused. And then we have our skin, where we have psoriasis, rosacea, or we have eczema, or we have acne. These are all different ways that your body's pushing toxins out of your skin. And so your body is going to find a way to get rid of these toxins if it can, or it's going to store it in your brain. And I think that's going to be one of the contributing factors to neurodegeneration, brain disorders, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, the like, right?
Yes, sir. So right now it's 9:52. We have a couple of minutes left, and we still have some more questions that people are asking. So one thing, I guess somebody texted in and asked, if your office works with insurance or works with other things like that. Is that something you could answer?
Yeah. So of course I can do that. Most insurances, unfortunately, don't cover health and wellness, so we don't have a good insurance plan. But what happens a lot of times is people can bill their insurance. We will provide codes so that people can work with their flex spending accounts, and that they can work with their HSAs, and,
cool.
and there is options. It's just a little bit limited, and it's a little bit more of a challenge, because insurance isn't really. I don't want to. I hate being sarcastic, but insurance doesn't support wellness. They're interested in overpriced programs that frankly just don't work.
Yeah, I got you.
And I hate to, I'm not trying to be negative by any means, but just my opinion.
I got you. So again, how can somebody get a hold of you? I'm sure later, I know you've done this in the past, gone through, if there's a question we missed, maybe go in and kind of answer it as you have time.
Absolutely.
Sure.
So, my office is in League City, Texas. My name is Dr. Aaron Chapa, Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center. And we're located in League City. Phone number is 281-554-8600. And our website is justlivewell.com. And we encourage anybody out there that has a friend, family member, yourself dealing with health and any type of health challenge. If you're dealing with, symptom patterns you weren't genetically born with, your story, you've got belly pain, you've got allergies, you've got high blood pressure, you've got a diagnosis. And in the beginning, disease is hard to recognize but easy to fix. And in the end, disease is easy to recognize and hard to fix. We want to interrupt the cycle before it becomes hard to fix. It's easier to make dietary changes and do some of the things that Curt, Gardy, and I are talking about on the air, detox programs, answering some of you guys' questions with respect to keto living or low carb living, or just increasing your vegetable intake, eating your water, drinking your water, bringing in nutritious foods more abundantly as a primary reach, and then knowing what to reach for whenever crisis happens, when you have a fever or a cold, or whenever you have belly pain, or you have just pain in your body. If you get something as simple as an ulcer in your mouth, or your toddler or your infant is teething, what to do for those babies. We've got answers for all of these things, and we can talk. I'd love to do just a whole show where we had like a line of moms and just a panel of what questions do you want to ask, what do you travel with, what everything did I take. I took an herbal throat spray for the airplane. It's got myrrh and calendula and nutrients in it to help open up the airways. I took sesame seed oil to stimulate bone marrow to produce more white blood cells to increase my body's ability to ward off any pathogens that I might be exposed to on an airplane or on the ship. I took natural herbs. This one's called antioxidant formula, and it's got mushrooms in it and clove and milk thistle and chaparral, and it's designed to help the body get rid of pathogens that my body might have been exposed to. And I was being proactive and preventative before I got sick, and therefore I come home and I hit the ground running and don't seemingly miss a beat whenever I get off of my vacation. And so knowing these tools is what we're wanting to do. Is maybe one of our shows we could build a medicine tool chest and give people, hey, this is not, I don't want you to think that I'm a protocol driven office, but it sure is nice whenever your kid's going in for a procedure, and we've got to make sure we build that immunity up.
It's awesome.
So my name is Dr. Aaron Chapa. This is Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center. We're thrilled to be serving the greater southeast area of League City, Clear Lake, down into Texas City and Galveston, and we love you guys. We're thankful that y'all are on our show, and we need your support. So share us, like us, and tell your friends, family, and loved ones.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, Dr. Chop. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Probably
sooner.
Here.
We'll have to stop into your office sometime and hang out.
Yeah, and make sure that we do some fun, maybe some foot baths, or
Let's do it.
See if we can get some of that 4-pound cinnamon roll that
Flush it out.
Just eat more crickets.
Let's eat more crickets. That's right.
This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. Stay tuned. This is Kickstart. We're going to be on until 11 a.m., and then we have another busy day doing a bunch of stuff. Stay tuned. Sweet. So that was fun. Hopefully everybody got your questions answered. If not, feel free to call Dr. Chapa's office. And the people there are really nice. We go hang out as much as we can. And they always take care of us. It's fun.
Stay tuned, because coming up next, we have Wiley Street Tacos coming in for Taco Tuesday.
It's Taco Tuesday.
And we are the taco.
We're going to talk about it.
And it is Tuesday.
Yep. So yeah, next Tuesday, 8:30, Dr. Chapa will be back. Little Chapa Talk.
On every Tuesday.
Chapa Talk. So, somebody was asking about, like, are all grains bad? And I think maybe they weren't. From what I take from what we've talked about, is that whenever you're having every meal based around like grain and bread, that's when it can lead to issues. You can have stuff that's going on with your body that's not normal. But yeah, like you said, cereal in the morning, then probably a sandwich for lunch, and then you have pasta for dinner, and then you have a big thing of garlic bread on the side, because we weren't made to live off of grain. A grain diet, you're made to have it periodically. So that is our thoughts on that. Dang, Curt, why do you break everything that's in front of you? Like, he starts chewing on pens, on bottle caps, like they aren't even his. Like, it can not even his bottle cap.
This pen?
Not even his pen. Yes.
Wood Forest National Bank.
That's my bank. No, it's not. But that's where Chevy works. Is that where you got that pen?
Here's your pen.
Sweet. I have to hide this
So it doesn't get eaten.
so it does not get eaten and broken. It hurts my feelings.
I need a stress ball. That is true. That is true. So I was asking about the peanut butter because that is the peanut butter that they use in my shakes. And so I really like having the peanut butter add-in. Like I get my new favorite is the Hulk.
Ooh.
The Hulk, which has like kale and everything else in it, but then it has the peanut butter and the whey protein.
Good morning, Joe from Brownsville, Texas. You know, my sister said you need a stress ball.
What is this?
This is sesame seed oil. So what do we do? You said chew it?
Chew it, yeah.
So-
Chinese food.
I do like Chinese food. So sesame seed oil, just one at a time or just pop them all in?
Pop 'em all in there.
I'm scared because of Kurt's face. Can you like show us your face?
Come on.
The shell is weird.
Ooh. Once you pop.
Kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right.
Dr. Chopper, you're the man.
I'll let you
We'll see you soon.
Yeah,
God bless you.
You got your getting your cord?
all right. Hope you have a blessed rest.
Andy, that's a great point.
Thank you.
Do you realize how many carbs and sugar are in the Hulk? We don't know.
We don't know.
We're talking Wally Street tacos.
Healthy talk.
Everybody wants to know what's up with my taco. It's an excellent question.
I'll be right back.
What's up?
Hey,
My name is Gardy.
Mary.
Mary, nice to meet you.
Meet you.
All right.
I need to know what y'all just took.
We we took sesame seed oil, but they come in like pills, and then you just chew it. I don't know what it does, but
Oh, gluten free, just like tacos.
well, we are big fans of tacos and food. So yeah, this one you can just
Okay.
however you're maybe if you get over there so that way we can make sure we see you. The people can see your face. Mary, right?
Yes.
Mary. Wiley Street Tacos. So y'all are, I guess, out at 3 Acres at times.
Yes.
Where else do y'all go?
We're pretty much everywhere. Woodlands, Galveston. I mean, anywhere in between.
Cool. Where are you based out of?
We usually come out of Houston. That's usually where we're usually at, like
Okay.
lunches and stuff like that.
Cool. Do you live in Houston?
No.
Where y'all live?
Alvin.
Alvin? Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, we love Alvin. So yesterday we had Mutt Mesh Animal Rescue in studio, which is an organization based out of Alvin.
Yes.
And then they brought Bindi, which is a dog that was about one. She's a girl from Alvin's, I guess,
You said the shelter.
rescue. Yeah, the shelter.
Mhm.
And so we had Bindi in studio, actually sitting in that same chair you are in right now. Bindi, she was so sweet. And we posted a picture of her this morning because we're trying to find Bindi a home.
I'm sad that I wasn't here when there was a dog here.
Yeah. Well, we have Curt in studio today again. And sometimes
I am the biggest dog.
he's the big dog.
I'm the big dog.
He's the big dog around here. That's one way to spin it.
I'm really excited because we've had Wiley Street Tacos before. 'Cause
Really?
It's at 3 Acres Food Truck Park. We always go to 3 Acres Food Truck Park.
Yeah, we're there
Okay.
often.
And when we had an opportunity, she's like, I got to come in on a Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
Yep.
Yeah. So you may not have noticed that we're around. We talk to a lot of people when we're at 3 Acres, and what we're usually doing is promoting this radio station and eating delicious food. So that's we make our way around, and I know a lot of like you being one of the trucks there that's serving. Y'all are busy,
Yeah.
and whenever I go to a truck, I usually ask, "What's your favorite thing?" And then I listen, and I'm like, I can eat that.
Yeah.
So that's as much conversation as I get to have with
Yeah.
with the trucks there. But other people, we talk their ears off.
That's usually the question that we're always asked. What's your favorite?
Yeah.
And it's usually whatever we have most of.
There, the secrets are out. I may have to rethink my question because I want to eat whoever is making the food. What is your favorite? Because I assume there's a reason. I guess there is a reason. Now we know.
I mean, I had tacos pretty much every day for the last almost 3 years. So
Yes.
Yeah.
So like
tacos.
safe to say you've eaten tacos. You said like every day for the past,
I might be lying just a little bit because
but for the most part,
well, yeah, I can't really have too much corn. So
yeah.
We do like a keto bowl where it's
Cool.
like lettuce and the meat and cheese and all the fats that's needed for keto.
That's what we need to try because we were just talking about keto and Joe, who's watching from Brownsville, says you need to come down to Brownsville, bring some of the Wiley Street Tacos,
That's where
Brownsville, Texas.
That's where the best tacos are at. Why do you need me there?
We had Smoking D's in, so we had Dustin in, and he was talking about how they were airing that episode of Man Fire Food in
Mhm.
Canada, and we are like, well, we need some.
Yeah.
Dustin, you need to get to Canada or have another truck up there or
Yeah.
something. So definitely get Smoking D's and Wiley Street Tacos down to down to Brownsville.
When we don't have time, because smoking brisket is probably one of the most
Yeah, it takes a lot of time.
labor intensive things to do. And I told Dustin all the time, I said, you get all the respect in the world for me.
Yeah.
But there's times where, if we're unable to make brisket and we have it on the menu for the weekends, because it's usually one of our weekend meats,
Yes.
I tell him, I was like, hey,
Look it up. We need some
yes,
brisket.
yes. I'll tell him, say, hey,
It's a
give me some
collab.
brisket. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Even though we make our brisket better. So
Oh,
just
Whoa.
gonna have to put
Wait,
that out
we gotta
there.
get Dustin on.
Oh, no.
I'm tagging Dustin. Dustin.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Calling it out.
We need to know, is it competitive in the food truck? Like as food trucks, I know y'all are from the same town,
Mhm.
but like even ones that aren't from the same town, is there that is it competition, healthy competition, like not healthy competition where it's like a little too much?
Do you want me to tell you the truth?
We want the truth.
We are not hashtag fake news.
We want the real dirty truth.
In Alvin, we all look out for each other. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like it's, if Dustin needs something, if I need something covered, and I'll book stuff out. I book
Right.
out for Dickinson ISD and stuff like that.
Cool.
And there's times where I'm like, oh, hey, come in, we need a spot that needs to be filled. And he does
Yeah.
the same with us. Same thing with Corey and, Adolph. It's pretty much like that.
Okay.
And Houston
It's different.
is much different.
So Alvin, you look out for Alvin, but when you go other places, if you don't know them, it's like, hey,
Well,
Have you ever gone and dismantled a food truck's stuff so they can't get to where you're going?
slashing tires. That's what Kurt.
Slashing-
I could see Kurt doing that.
I don't physically make moves, but
You make the phone call.
There you go.
Okay, smart. Keep your hands
Smart.
clean.
there you go.
And if you're really smart, then you just
It's
kind of
on
like
the burner
do
phone.
just do a signal. Yeah, on the
Yes.
burner. Somebody else has the burner. You don't want to trace back to you.
Yeah, but
like that.
there's like little groups that as far as parts of town, north side of Houston, southeast, it's like food truck game.
Yeah,
Are there food truck groups that you belong into on Facebook where you're like
with other vendor, like
other food truck people that you're like, you know what? We're gonna talk trash about this one
elite,
food
the
truck.
elite group.
I wouldn't say we talk trash.
Oh, okay.
I mean, unless you do something where we need to talk trash, but
Yeah,
no, for the most part, we're pretty civil. I mean, we're grown folks. We're not in high school, right?
No,
so,
I'm
but-
definitely in high school.
But yeah, we have like a Slack group. It's an app
Cool.
that we use. And usually like if someone's like, hey, I my tire popped, I'm not able to make it to my dinner gig. Can someone
Let it
cover
go.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually how it is.
I want to be in that group
What for?
just because I really want a food truck.
You're like, I need a
What
food
would
truck
your
in my
food truck
house.
serve? Never mind. I don't want to know. What I do want to know is Wiley Street. Is that an actual street?
Yes. Yes.
I'm guessing. Where's that?
It's in Fifth Ward.
Fifth Ward.
Mhm.
And how did y'all get that name? How did y'all
My
decide?
husband, that's where he grew up.
Cool.
I could not for the life of me figure out a name.
Mhm.
I couldn't figure out a name. I'm like, okay, I need something that flows, and Wiley Street Tacos, it flows. So,
Yeah.
and every so often we'll have someone from the neighborhood, and they're like, hey, I grew up on that street. And I'm like, oh,
That's cool.
Yeah. So-
They're gonna support it.
Yeah.
I always just
Dude.
thought Wiley was your name.
no,
Oh,
Her name's Mary.
yeah.
I know, but there was some sort of family
Wiley, I'm
name.
guessing. Are you Wiley?
That's
Like,
not the first time though.
Like, I thought it was just like street tacos,
So you would be like
That's-
Kurt.
and the Wiley was like a name.
No,
of the street tacos.
when I see it, it's Wiley Street Tacos.
That's these street tacos.
Wiley
That's-
Street Tacos.
We actually have that a lot where they're like, oh, can we cater? Can you cater for us? We just want street tacos. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
we're
What's the-
Wiley Street.
Well,
We got 20 seconds. We're gonna go on the FM as well. We're hanging out on Facebook. It's gonna be fun. We'll keep talking, kind of reiterate some of the stuff we were talking about as well, and
Should I put this on?
you can if you want to.
Oh, Lord, help me.
Good morning. You're listening to KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. Right now it's 10:09. This is Kickstart. We're going to be on till 11 a.m. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Curt.
And we got Mary in studio. Mary, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
Awesome. So you have a business, you have a company, and it makes some awesome food. Can you tell me what the name of that is?
Wiley Street Tacos.
So Wiley Street Tacos. Where do you live? Where are you located?
Alvin, and we're mobile.
So you can go anywhere.
Anywhere.
So if somebody on our Facebook feed said, we want you down in Brownsville, potentially you could do that. It might be too far, but I'm just saying you have the potential.
Yes, we
Right.
have the potential.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to Brownsville. I'll bring you Wiley Street Tacos.
You've never been to
I
Brownsville?
don't even know where Brownsville is. Can you
It's
tell me where?
south Texas.
Like how far south?
I'm talking about as south as it gets, right?
I think it's like 10 miles away from Mexico.
It's like the tip south, and then it's like, hey, there's Mexico.
I want to go to Brownsville.
Let's go. I've been.
I have not. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's take some tacos. Some
They
street.
have the best tacos there, so you don't have to worry about taking my
Well,
tacos.
I mean, better than Wiley Street Tacos?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Wow, she even agreed.
There you go. This is over. No, I'm just kidding.
Well-
We have Mary in studio. We're talking about Wiley Street Tacos. This is KHEA
Taco
Radio.
Tuesday.
It is Taco Tuesday. Curt, what does that mean to you and the people of the world? Taco Tuesday?
That is when I can get a 6-pack and a pound from Taco John's, and
Oh,
it's
gross.
only like $4.
I'm gonna throw up.
Were you one of the ones that voted Taco Bell as #1 Mexican restaurant?
He would
You
be.
know, actually, I don't like Taco Bell. I would have voted Taco John's the #1 taco place.
Have you ever heard of Taco John's?
Never.
It's comparable to Taco Bell. It's like a fast food taco joint.
Do they
And
have crunchy tacos?
They have the best soft tacos in the world.
Whew.
I
Kurt's,
love some soft tacos.
Kurt's from Nebraska,
Okay.
and he did not grow. He ate a tamale with the husk on. He didn't know you're supposed to take it off last Christmas. So I mean, I don't know how much his vote counts in this area.
It doesn't.
I don't know.
Wow, it was not even like a possible. It was like, nope, just
Yeah.
done. You
So-
know, the best part is just like the cheese and the meat, and then like the cheese melts inside of the meat, and then you bite into it. Oh,
A quesadilla.
He,
That's what
he-
it sounds like.
well, he likes it like a soft taco, and they just roll it up and they put like liquid cheese and
and meat, and that's
meat,
all I
yeah.
need.
yeah.
That is a taco.
Yeah.
No onions, no cilantro, no lime,
What's
nothing.
a cilantro?
You know what cilantro
I'm
is?
just kidding. I know what a cilantro is. Yes. For
So
sure.
how long has Wiley Street Tacos been up? How long have y'all been doing the thing?
Since November 2015.
So it's been a little bit.
Yeah.
That's cool. And how has like the taco, not even just tacos, but like food trucks, I guess it, like the scene has changed from then even till today.
Yes.
Like how was it back then and what is it turned into now?
Well, in 2015, when we first started, we kind of did everything on our own, but I've noticed that, trucks are coming together a little bit more,
Okay.
so that way we can help each other out. But for the most part, not everybody gets along, but for the most part, we look out for each other a lot more now.
Yeah. So it's turned into a community,
Yes.
I guess. Because even 3 years ago, I would say food trucks aren't as big as they are now.
Mhm.
People, whenever you first think of a food truck, it's probably, tacos and I don't know, off telephone. I used to live over there and I would go eat it at the taco truck because I know I was like, hey, it's good. But not many people would just stop. And there was definitely not a food truck park.
Yeah.
And now that is a thing. And it's pretty cool to see it happen. And there's like a community of people that kind of help each other and we're all trying to have a common goal.
Yeah.
So
What is the reason for that shift? Because I do remember like food trucks, it was like back in the day, it was like, nah, you don't want to go eat at a food truck. Like that's not where you want
maybe
to go.
for you, but I would.
Well, the regulations for a lot of counties and cities, it's a lot worse than what it used to be, at least for us.
Yeah.
It's good for, people who come to our truck. They know that we have to pass inspection.
Right.
Like City of Houston, we have to, every single year we pay over $800 just to renew our permit.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things in place to make sure that we keep everything in
Is
order.
the requirements just as much as let's say a brick and mortar, like a restaurant, or is it more or less?
I say it's more because
Yeah.
when we go to 3 acres, I have to get a tent permit every single time.
Yeah.
So it can, depending on when I actually do the tent permit, it can be anywhere from $75 to $100.
Yeah.
So, and then it's just not like that, just for Galveston County. City of Houston, you have to pay. Harris County, you have to pay. And then now the regulations are getting a little more stiffer for us, and a lot of trucks are kind of frustrated with that.
We're talking to Mary from Wiley Street Tacos. They're from Alvin, Texas, but they go all over the place. And what are some of the items that you can get from Wiley Street Tacos? If I come up and I look at the menu, what's the variety?
Okay, so our tacos, we have the Wiley Street style, which is street style tacos.
Okay.
It's red onion, cilantro, that kind of
And those
thing.
come on the smaller corn, or what do they
No.
come on?
They're just a regular tortilla size. The ones you get like a
That's what I like, the regular ones, because
Yes.
I'm like, okay, the small ones, that's just gonna make me angry. Like, okay, if I get like 2, I could eat like 8 of those.
Yeah.
Like, give me the bigger one.
yeah.
I
And
like
we
that.
have a lot of people come up and say, "Do you have street tacos for $1 a piece?" And I'm like, "Oh, we don't do that."
Yeah.
And then we have the Austin style, which is cabbage, cilantro, and then queso fresco. And then we have the pico de gallo, just regular pico de gallo, onions,
Cool.
tomatoes, jalapenos.
Yeah.
And then we have our borracho nachos. It just rhymes. We don't have, it just rhymes. Borracho nachos. Blue corn chips, queso blanco. We have our special avocado jalapeno sauce on there, lettuce, pico, and then your choice of meat, depending on what we have.
Cool. And you mentioned something about there's a keto bowl.
Yes,
What is that?
We don't have it on the menu, but it's just lettuce, your type of meat. I do suggest that if we have pork belly, because it has a high fat and it's keto friendly.
Yeah.
And then we do our avocado jalapeno sauce, which is another fat. Pico de gallo, a little bit of tomato, so it's not that high in carbs.
Mm-hmm.
And then we do a packet of sour cream.
Awesome. That sounds good. That's something I would. First of all, sounds like I would try everything, but that bowl too, because I don't eat that much corn. I don't eat that much. I try to stay away from carbs just because, right?
Yeah.
And you had mentioned something about corn too. Like, do you not do that much corn tortillas or just corn in general?
For me personally, I can't do very many carbs.
Yeah.
I have an autoimmune issue, so too many carbs causes me to have pain and have a flare up. So
Just got to find what works for you, pretty
yes.
much.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so for you, do you do that bowl
Yes.
often? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not keto anymore. I macros. That's what I'm doing right now.
Cool.
But I'm still trying to watch my carbs.
Yeah, for sure. Kurt, what do you think? You watching your carbs?
No,
He
no,
said,
sir. I'm eating as much carbs.
He's watching them as they go in his mouth.
Oh, I like that. I'm watching my diet go
Mhm.
in my mouth.
There you go.
I'm using that from now on.
Wiley Street Tacos. We're talking to Mary. We're hanging out. This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. Right now it's 10:17. This is Kickstart. We're going to be on till 11 a.m. If you have any questions for Mary and Wiley Street Tacos, let us know. They've been around since 2015, and things have changed. Things have changed, not just like in our area, in our community, but just in like the taco scene. Like 3 Acres wasn't around. There was no like food truck park around here, was there?
Nope.
So where would y'all go set up?
It would depend. I mean, if we did a couple of spots when we first started.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was kind of hard when we first started.
Yeah, so even like anywhere, like if there was an event maybe,
Yes.
or like if there was someone needed some catering at somewhere,
Yeah.
that's that. Because there was there a food truck park in Houston?
Yes, and that's no longer there anymore.
Okay.
But we didn't do that. But yeah, it
Yeah.
was there. There's
Yeah.
a lot more parks now.
Which
There's
is a
one
good
in
thing.
Alvin, right? There's one in Alvin.
We're gonna be there Thursday for that no cook Thursday. So
So there's a food truck park in Alvin?
it's not a park. I know they
just use it as
yeah. I mean, it's just once a month, depending on the weather. But they didn't do it during the summer because it's too hot.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Um,
I've heard about it.
you know where the library is at in Alvin?
Yes.
Okay, it's behind it. It's that little park that's there,
Okay.
and there's I don't know the name of the park.
Do you know where Froberg's is in Alvin?
Who doesn't?
Well, Kurt didn't know where the nails were because we went to Froberg's the other day and he got a flat tire and then he rode on a flat tire to across from like Fun City Skate, maybe. There's a tire shop. And Kurt was like, I'm not
See,
paying
this-
anything.
This is why I don't go to Alvin anymore. Every time I go to Alvin, something bad happens.
He's
I
like,
run
yeah.
into like the Macdilla and just eat it all and
Yeah.
feel awful, the next day because it's so good. Or I run into a nail at Froberg's. I
Yeah.
have a couple ex-girlfriends that live in Alvin.
Oh,
I
Lord.
try to stay away from that, I guess.
His next ex is probably in Alvin too right now.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
He's in talk of Alvin a lot. Are you in that group?
No comment.
Okay.
I'm
She's
in
one of
band.
the wait, you got banned?
Yes.
What did you
Oh
do?
no. We can't talk about it. It's 10:19 right now. You're listening to KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. We're going to take a quick weather break. This is Kickstart. We're going to be on till 11 a.m. This is the KHEA Kickstart Weather Center, brought to you by Texas Chronicles, History, Mystery, and Adventure with Curtsy, the Cookie Dough, Casper.
It's currently 80 degrees right now. 87 is going to be the high today. There is a 40% chance of showers this afternoon. Overnight, there also is a lot of chance of showers and thunderstorms.
It's going to rain.
7:09 is your sunrise tomorrow morning, Wednesday, 83, Thursday, 82. And that's a look at your weather for the next couple of days.
Check
in
out
our
this spot
area.
by SDVA Solutions out Alvin.
SDVA Solutions specializes in small business support, virtual receptionists, scheduling, billing, and print marketing. Reach out to Andrea Jewell at 979-475-4646. That's 979-475-4646.
Oh my gosh.
All right, now that we're not on the FM, I want to know what you said in the Talk of Alvin group.
She
'Cause I don't want to get banned either. I'm a troublemaker, and I'd say some things.
Do we need to turn our mics off and you can tell us in And we're back.
Wow, that is a story and a half.
Oh, you're gonna have to
Oh,
ask that.
Man, you guys are going to have to go back and get the premium content purchase for $50. We'll tell you what you said. Send it to KHEA at KHEAradio.com. We have a PayPal account for you. It's going to be good.
It's
$50 and you got it.
Wow,
Yeah.
That's a fair price for that.
it's juicy.
It's juicy. It's literally probably the most juiciest thing that you guys have ever heard before. You guys missed it.
I know. I didn't even say anything wrong. I just asked the question.
Wait, we can't give away too much.
Uh-oh.
Giving away secrets. This is how we get our money. We're a listener-supported radio station. Without it, we make nothing.
Like PBS.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we are PBS.
I'm Ernie and this dude's Bert.
From what?
Sesame Street.
Oh,
How did you not know that?
because he started with Ernie first. It's Bert and Ernie. Bert
That's true.
comes first.
True.
Ernie is not like important enough to ever have his name in front of Bert. Oh, Bert rhymes with Curt.
Uh-oh.
And Ernie does not rhyme with Gardy. Well, they both end in a so
What? Why
Ernie,
are you still talking? I'm gonna turn our
Gardy.
mics back off. I don't know what you're even saying right now.
Gardy, Ernie.
There you go.
See,
It
They
works.
both- in the Y. It went
I'm
there.
sorry.
That's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
I'm
Kurt-
usually the ones that says something weird. We're like, huh?
Well,
But-
usually, like if you say something weird, it's like, okay, maybe that didn't work. But Kurt like keeps going until like he's like, hey, all right,
All
sorry,
right, I made it.
I'm shoving it down, trying to make
Just
this
like
work.
the cookie dough.
And then he's
Man.
still going. I don't know. I want to talk more tacos.
What's your favorite taco?
Get your hands off my pinata taco.
Are you talking about like what I serve or just in general? What's my favorite taco?
Can you ask?
Man, I don't know. That's a tough one. I think I want to know both.
Yes.
I like when I was doing keto. I like the pork belly taco
Mm-hmm.
and with the pico de gallo in the sauce.
How do y'all cook the pork belly?
It just pan fried.
Okay.
We just pan fry it. Little small golden nuggets.
Right.
It's really good in our quesadilla. You hear that, Dustin? In our quesadilla.
Whoa, I'm tagging him. I'm
Go
tagging
ahead, tag
now.
him. We were the original. Actually, he's been asking me where I get my tortillas from. So
Oh, where do you get your tortillas
I'm
from?
not saying. You're gonna click that off.
Decimal pay the. I'm not going to do it. Decimal pay the premium subscription service, and
There you
then
go.
I don't want to have to give away any secrets.
There you go.
Yeah.
As far as tacos in general, it's from a taco truck, not Taco Bell or Taco John's.
Mm-hmm.
It's the taco truck is called Taco Nasto, and it's up north. Yeah, that's my favorite taco.
Sweet.
I can't say that my favorite taco is my own taco.
You can.
Do you
Why
eat
can't
your
you?
taco all the time?
I don't. Eventually you get tired of taco.
We had someone on there earlier that wanted to go on a 21-day taco eating like challenge.
Technically it's gluten free, so
Yeah.
I mean it's a lot better than having bread.
Sure.
But at the same time it's still corn and
Yeah. Corn we've learned is a grain,
yes.
and
It's not a
sometimes
vegetable.
yeah.
Who started that rumor anyways? Since
I don't
when
know.
was corn a vegetable?
We don't know.
It just seems like it
I
was.
just thought it was. It has green, grows in Nebraska. I mean, why wouldn't it be a vegetable?
Yeah.
We
no.
found from Dr. Choppa, who was on before you, that you don't do corn. Like corn is for the birds, is what he said.
Just like a lot of grains. It's not
So
necessarily
flour
good.
tortillas are better though, than corn tortillas. You don't like
It's all that flour and it's still kind of grain,
Yeah, it
it's, yeah.
Unless you used, like we talked about, like almond flour or like coconut flour, then you would
Yep.
be able to figure out a way.
Yeah, there's a company out there called Siete Foods. They make grain free,
Yeah.
tortillas. And they also do chips.
Mm-hmm.
And then they
We've
ask,
had some of the chips.
Yeah.
We haven't
The
had the tortillas
siete?
before. Yeah.
oh yeah, they're good.
Well, Dr. Choppa brought those in for us. So they
Yeah.
sell them at Kroger. Or no.
They're at HEB.
At HEB, maybe it's HEB, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not even, it just says like grain-free chips.
Mhm.
And their logo is pretty cool. It has like a bird or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's actually called Siete because because I kind of know them, but it's the number of ingredients that they had and the
Cool.
number of family members that they have.
Cool.
So Siete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've started looking at ingredients like of everything. Like just seeing like, hey, what's in there? And most of it you can't pronounce. But like on that one, it's like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not,
It works.
it works. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's
Yep.
good. Cool. And then like even stuff that's branded as healthy, like sometimes isn't healthy, we have found. So it's just been a different way of thinking for us lately. But we love to support, stuff to 3 acres.
Mhm.
How long, because they've been like they hit a year like earlier.
Yes. Yeah.
How long have y'all been making the trip out to there?
For about a year.
Since
Yeah.
the beginning almost?
Yeah.
Has that grown? Because we weren't there like from the beginning. We first learned about them in like February or March.
Yeah. Well, Barbara's pretty good about setting up, events and stuff like that. So whenever there's like a Jeep meet or, some kind of car thing going on, a lot of people come out,
classic car night.
Yes.
Oh wait, it's not called classic car night. It's drive-in or
Something like that. Yeah. The monthly drive-in or something.
They
like
have
that.
like trucks. They got, they do the ladies' night. They do all kinds of stuff. And they keep the artists coming in, like people that are going to do music. No, they did karaoke once before.
I want
And
to go do karaoke.
you do karaoke?
No. Just in the shower. That's it. That's it.
I could do karaoke. So one of the things that I want to ask when we go back on the FM, but maybe we can give our Facebook listeners a little tease here. What is next? Like, are you just going to keep doing the same thing that you've always done? Is there a new food that you're trying to bring out or do?
Currently we're trying to do a new truck. So, and it's going to be a little bit of everything. I could just feel like all the other trucks
Yeah.
hearing that. And they're like, what? What's going on?
So you're going to like change Wiley Street, or is it going to be Wiley Street and then like a new truck as well?
Yes. Wiley Street in a new truck. What we're trying to do is push, because we have a lot of catered requests,
Mm-hmm.
especially with tacos. I'm like, make your own tacos.
Yeah.
But whatever. Hey, it works. But what we're trying to do is have that more for the catered side, and then have the new truck for, vending or, stuff and catering.
So what would the name of this new truck be? You don't know yet.
No, I know, but I can't say.
Really?
Yeah.
Can I make a suggestion?
Go ahead.
It's called the Casper.
No.
No?
Uh-uh.
Dang.
Why the Casper?
Because that's my last name.
Okay.
See? It works. Gardy's just like shaking his head no. What's
Yeah.
going to be on the can we get a hint of what kind of food is going to be on the
It's
truck?
just, where we live. I mean, it's just a melting pot of different cultures and types of foods, that kind of stuff.
So it'll be like, I'm trying to think of the right way to say this, like Wiley Street fusion, kind of stealing it from Dustin.
Oh my God. No, it's going to be, yeah. I don't even think we're going to have Wiley in the name. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Mary.
No.
Mary's. I'm still going with the name. No.
What if it was Avenue Tacos?
No.
I feel like they already have a name.
Avenue?
We have a name.
I want to know the name.
You want to push that button so that way?
And we're back.
That's awesome. Hey,
So many
$50
secrets.
and we'll tell you what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, I actually went on over YouTube. So
No, it doesn't.
I'm just kidding. I'm
Oh my gosh.
kidding.
Kurt's-
Kidding.
Kurt's a giant liar.
Trying to get
Like, you'll
people to
find
jump
out.
over to our YouTube.
Whenever he says stuff, you kind of have to like, do I believe him? Probably not.
Has Dustin came on yet?
Mm-hmm.
He's been on a couple times. Dustin was on for our birthday celebration that we had on Friday.
No, I mean
Oh, on
on
here.
the chat.
He has not said anything,
Oh
and I
my
have not
God.
seen
He's
him.
watching in silence
He is.
from a burner publicity account, so we don't know. Maybe.
Possibly.
I'd also like to add that I've been around longer than Dustin.
He
My-
hasn't been around that long. Whenever we start talking to him, it was like not that long, like maybe almost a year or something.
Did you go to the watch party?
No.
Were you kind of hurt?
Well, I mean, he did invite me, but I had something. I think we were working that day.
Oh, yeah. It was a Wednesday night. We couldn't go either.
Yeah.
We wanted to go.
Yeah.
Man Fire Food. Are you going to be on Man Fire Food?
No.
Never.
Mm-mm.
Uh-uh.
I like to be underground, so
Makes
that way
sense.
people don't expect things from me.
Well,
Just
you
stay
did
in the middle.
You were the. That's why you're naming your next food truck Underground Tacos.
Sure. Yeah.
You thought I was going to actually say it.
It's gonna be Casper's Underground Tacos. That's what's gonna be.
I've always wanted to have a food truck like of my own, but I don't want to run and operate it. Like I want to
Oh,
have
okay.
other people operate it, but just so I can always have a.
He
food
just
truck.
wants his name on it. I feel like he's like, I don't want to
I
fund
want
it.
the name.
I don't want to do
and
anything
the
with
logo.
it.
Like the Casper logo would be awesome on the side of a food.
I'm gonna put a ghost on the new truck, and it's just gonna be for you. There you go.
Yes.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
When I get it done, I'm gonna show you, and I'm gonna be like, look, this one's for you.
Listen, I'll come every day and eat your tacos.
Who said I was gonna have tacos?
Oh, well now we won't just have tacos.
Kurt was talking trash about like when we had Dustin on the other day. He was talking trash about all the other food trucks. And I was like, dude, there are so many good food trucks around here. He's like, I don't care. They all stink. Dustin's the best.
Dustin is not the best.
This is real.
He's aight.
Yes, you did.
Listen, I said there's Dustin who is at the top, and then everyone else.
And I was like, can you even name another food truck? And he's like, yes. And then he started naming. He was like, Jenny from the Block. Other ones. They're like all these, like
Wiley
calling them
Street
out.
Tacos. I called
Pretty much.
you.
He did call you out. He was like, but Smoking D's is better than all of them.
I do
And I
like
was like,
Smoking.
dude, you need to be careful what you say. First of all, that's rude.
Wait, am
Second
I
of
not gonna
all,
get the
so
ghost
rude.
anymore?
It's different.
You can't get the ghost
It's
anymore.
different.
Ah,
That's it.
Gardy's
You don't-
only bringing this up because he doesn't want the ghost on the side of the truck.
No, if she wants to put the ghost, it's her truck.
That is true.
She can do whatever she wants.
I don't know. I'll think about it.
I just said it's
Yeah,
because Dustin,
yeah.
it's because Dustin was on, and I was trying to make him feel good.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh wait, no,
You're just like going to go the opposite way.
Listen, Dustin doesn't have a ghost on his truck.
Some people, they just want to be liked by everyone, and so they will lie and say anything to
I
try
see
and
that.
get.
No,
I'm not saying you. I'm just saying
No.
some people.
You know, if I had a truck, I would have It would have to have some mac and cheese in it. If I ever had my own food truck, like it would have to be like maybe a mac and cheese truck.
Like quesadilla with brisket in it.
I wonder where you got that idea from.
You know, that's what he said so there is a Casper. There's been a lot of premium content today. You guys are really missing
so
out.
many secrets.
Yeah, it's a secretive life that we live.
The life behind the life.
Mm-hmm.
But you know that happens often though.
But I would have a mac and cheese truck. And I think there's like maybe a mac and cheese ice cream. That would be delicious.
Oh my god.
Mac and cheese soup. What else? Ooh, a mac and cheese boudin ball. That would be delicious.
I think that's out there somewhere.
Really?
'Cause
Probably.
it's pretty basic.
I'm a basic person.
I agree.
So is he always like this?
You know what? Yes. Yeah, he is. And you know, yeah,
There are
he
days
is.
where I don't.
No, Kurt is he's a special person. Whenever we first started this show, I was like this close to being like, get off, get out of here. Like because it was a lot to take in.
Yeah.
I've never met anybody like him before. But I recently met his mom who's in town, and they're like the same person. And I was like, okay, that makes sense.
There you go.
You got a phone call. Hello?
Okay, so what other questions do you have?
I want to know. Okay, so we talked about your favorite taco.
Uh-huh.
What is, if you were going to like 3 Acres Food Truck Park, what other food truck are you going to?
You gonna put me on the spot like that?
Yes.
I have so many
I want to know
trucks.
maybe your favorite besides yourself.
Who's that? The favorite of.
No, just in general, who's your favorite?
I don't have just one. It just depends. I mean, I like Dustin's brisket, so if I wanted brisket, I would go there. If I wanted a burger, I would do Offbeat Eats. If I wanted to do, I better not say that. Yeah. I thought of something, but I'm like, okay, I better not say that.
No,
Because
you're not going to tell us and let us know?
Yeah, I mean, there's just different trucks have good stuff, you know, it's just depends. Not everybody's the same. You know, one truck might do a burger this way, another truck might do a burger that way. Pulled pork here is different from there. I mean, yeah, I think everybody brings something different to the table. So, and then with 3 Acres, Barb's pretty good about having a variety of things.
Yeah, and so that's one of the things at 3 Acres Food Truck Park when you go is you can have a taco from here, you can go and have some brisket from here. I think when we go, we at least try all 4 different. We try something a little bit from everybody. It's hard on the pocketbook, but we'll go and try it out, and we walk away. It's like sluggish.
Yep. There's one truck, the Treats and Eats. Have y'all tried the funnel cake with the ice cream on top?
Yes.
Oh my god,
that is so good. They have a really good, just in general, ice cream.
It's really good. I like it. I wanted to say something about Dustin. We haven't worked next to each other at 3 Acres in a while. But I work with him because we schedule out for gallery furniture events. You know how whenever they have big.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first time that I met Dustin. He well, actually I wasn't there. My husband was there. He actually almost blew himself up.
What?
Yes.
What?
He actually burned his leg hairs. It looked like taco meat all over his legs.
What happened?
I mean, I don't even know. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I think he left his gas on and he had the pit on, and so
Wow.
it wasn't like really bad, but yeah, I think he still has a scar. Dustin, are you here? Do you still got the scar on your leg?
Wow.
I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, I was like,
Yes.
oh my gosh, and yeah,
Are there
Even
trucks that
his-
you like being next to when you go to 3 Acres Food Truck Park?
yeah. I'm not most of the time. I'm not there, but yeah, whenever my workers, they're like, oh, we hope that this truck's there or that truck's there. I want to get the food from there. Um, yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell. Dustin, they like Dustin's food, that's for sure. Renegade, he has some good burgers that they like. I think he has like some kind of pulled pork on top. It's like huge burgers, like stacked. But I think he does that on purpose,
Yeah.
because he's like, I like y'all.
That's cool.
Yeah, but
Is there any other benefit for being next to someone, or is it mainly they're like, hey, just because I hope the truck's there? But like, is there anything else that I mean, maybe we wouldn't think of?
like when we're there at 3 Acres.
Well, no, like if you're at an event and you say like I'm working beside Dustin, or you're
Mhm.
working beside a different truck,
Mhm.
and you know them, is there any other benefits besides just like, hey, we can eat the food, or is there some, I don't know?
It's just friendships,
Yeah.
I didn't like Dustin before. I still don't kind of like him, but I like him now. Kind of works out. No, but I mean, we know what we go through, with the trucks, so it's like if it's slow, get out and like, hey man, it's kind of slow here, or blah blah
Yeah.
blah. And it's not just 3 Acres, it's just in general. Like if we
Anywhere.
yeah, and like I said before, we do gallery furniture events and we get swamped like big time. I mean, it gets really crazy. And usually whenever there's a lull or we're getting ready to shut down, we all come out and we talk to each other and, how's it going? You okay? What are your numbers? It feels good to be able to tell someone this is how I feel. And they're like, I understand. And that's how I
Yes.
usually get that with trucks.
So for you to go out to an event and for it to be like, hey, successful, like how many plates of food do you have to kind of generally move, like in ballpark?
For lunches, we call them tickets, but sometimes people call them lines. It depends on the truck. But I would like to do between 40 to 60 lines or tickets for lunch. That's a good thing. Dickinson ISD, the high school, we did almost 600 for lunch. That's a good lunch.
Oh yeah, that's
yeah.
wow,
For
that's a lot.
for dinners, most trucks want to do at least close to 100 tickets, unless these are big tickets. The average is between $20 and $30, and sometimes you get that. 22 tickets and $526. I mean, those are really big tickets. Yeah, but it just depends.
So that's like on average, if somebody comes up and orders, they probably spend about $20. You would say,
Yeah,
just ordering either like tacos for like two people and drinks or something.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, it varies. It varies. I mean, for us, I have a set amount in my head where I'm like, okay, if we make this, and if we only have a certain amount of gigs during the week, and then with the rain,
Right, it's been
The
pretty
rain has
the
been.
rain has killed so many food trucks in their business this last month. It's usually not this rainy. September is usually whenever we kick off and everybody starts coming out, and it's not as hot as it used to be, but now it's just raining.
So spring and fall is the best time for food trucks.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
People don't go out in the summer.
It's so hot. We do better during lunch hours, because if we go to a school, or if we go to a corporate office, they don't want to go out. It's too hot. It's too hot to go out. So they'll just come out, or if we do pre-orders, they'll pre-order and just come out, get their food, and go back inside into the air condition. But it just depends. Depends on how hot it is.
See, I would rather be outside during the summer here. Maybe it's just because we're always in air conditioning. I want to get out of the air AC and go into the sun.
You're definitely not from Texas.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, and then there's the mosquitoes. Like with the rain that we've been getting, there's a lot of
Mhm.
mosquitoes, and so we had went out the other day, but I mean they were under control, but it was literally like 1 minute no mosquitoes, the next minute like as the sun went down just enough for the right point, mosquitoes just came out. and I was like, hey, I gotta go. It's time to
Yeah.
go. You know?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Usually whenever, like if I have the kids out, at night and there's a lot of mosquitoes, we use essential oils to keep them away. Can't be using all that
The
nasty-
chemicals?
Yeah.
Like around the food or just in general?
Just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's really bad on the truck, I'll get some like little candles to put out so that way when people come and order, you don't have to worry about smacking their legs or
Yeah.
we try. But I mean, this is Texas. I mean, the mosquitoes are as big as a quarter. So I mean,
Yeah. Whenever somebody orders food, do y'all have is there a system in place? Like, because I've seen some they use buzzers and some that are just like, hey, your food's ready. But then sometimes like you can't. I'm like, where's Mark? Mark, your food's ready and they're waiting. Mine's ready next, or we order the same thing and I'm about to eat your food.
I walk over and I say, "My name's Mark."
so I'm sure you would. So I like to use names because it's more, a personal feel.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, what's your name? Oh, my name is Mark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, you call out and say, hey, Mark, your food's ready, But at the same time, using buzzers, we actually been thinking about doing
Or
that.
even I'm sure there's like a text. I know like some restaurants do that. Can I have your cell phone? Then you have their contact information.
Yeah.
Just in case. And
Yeah.
then you also, I'm sure there's some automated thing from the iPad. I've seen a lot of people, the iPad has
Square.
been awesome. Yeah, it's Square, and you do that, and you could probably enter. But I'm trying to think. I know, like for valet and checking in at random restaurants, they have that. But I loved it because then you could just go somewhere else. I remember like being a kid, like at Olive Garden, like they call her name. You know, they call her name. They call her name.
Yeah, I mean that's something that we have thought about. My husband told me he's like Offbeat Eats. They actually use that system as
Cool.
well. It's something that
Sure, there's a bunch of stuff out there. I'm sure.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, I like the personal feel of being able to call someone by their name
Mm-hmm.
and to look them. I mean, I'm from the restaurant industry. I front of house, back of house, and people like it whenever you look at them in their eyes and you say, "Here's your food."
Yeah.
So and so. You know what I mean? And usually, whenever you do that, it means more tips. So, and then they remember, oh, this is the truck's inviting and very friendly, and we'll come back. So.
Yeah.
But that's just my take on it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
But
like it.
I think if we had more labor-intensive foods, then it would be a lot different. It'd be like, okay, it's too busy to, to take your name and call your name out. It's like here's your pager, and we'll buzz you when your food's ready.
Yeah. Interesting. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that. I'm sure it's not. Is it easy or not? Like if there's some like advice you could give yourself 3 years ago, would you change something about how it's ran or from the beginning, from the jump?
So when new trucks come in, I try to help them out as much as I can. I try to give them the ins and outs of what to do and what not to do. Some will take it, some won't, whatever. But I wish I had someone like me to tell me, hey, do this, do that, don't do this, do that, because at the end of the day, if you're a veteran truck, a little bit more. I mean, a lot more than, trucks that are just coming into the game. But I actually like that we struggled a bit in the beginning because you humble yourself. You're not like, okay, I deserve this. I should have this. I should have that. It's like I had to work hard to get where we're at, So it's not easy. It's definitely not easy, but definitely being humble about, your beginnings it's a big thing.
Yeah.
You don't expect people to just give you things.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Yeah. And there's a lot of trucks that are like that.
Mm-hmm. We'll do a lot of the trucks. Are they willing to take the advice, or is it kind of mixed feelings?
For the most part, yes. But there is a few out there that, oh, we're from the restaurant industry. We know exactly what we're doing. Oh, I've been in the restaurant industry for this long. I know what I'm doing. It's a completely different thing than being brick and mortar and food truck.
Yeah.
It's a lot different, definitely.
Interesting. I have some friends who have like worked on food trucks, before, and it is something different. But I remember in Houston for a while because like in downtown, trucks were able to come park, and then the restaurants got mad. It's like, hey, well, we have our, we pay rent here and all. We got 13 seconds and we're going to go on. We can talk about whatever, but maybe even that. Good morning. You're listening to KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. Right now, it's 10:49. We have a couple minutes left. We're talking to Mary from Wiley Street Tacos. Mary, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
Thank you for joining us. We've been having fun talking a little bit about everything. And so, I feel like, do you consider yourself a veteran food truck
Yes.
compared to some of the other ones that are popping up, right?
I mean, obviously, there's trucks that have been in the game longer than we have.
Right.
But yeah, for the most part. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. How is it passing down like what you've learned to people who are new to the industry, people that are like brand new? If somebody popped up at your next event, like, would you give them some of the knowledge and information that you have learned in the past, so many years?
I give them as much as I can without actually giving my secrets out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And do you volunteer that, or if somebody asks you?
If either way, if they come and say, hey, I heard you're the person that I need to speak to about,
Something.
whatever. I'm like, hey, I'm all ears. Give me your questions and I'll give you my answers.
Yeah. Where do you see like the food truck? I guess I'm going to call it an industry. Like, where do you see that going in the future? Is it evolving still? Like, we see the food truck parks popping up, like even the like pop-up parks where they'll do like once a month or events. Is this something that's going to keep evolving, and any idea where that's going to go?
It's kind of hard to say because there's a lot of restrictions that are coming up, and we're talking about the restaurant industry.
Yes.
We're basically their enemy.
Mm-hmm.
With them, it's like, they have to think about themselves, which is totally fine. But at the same time, you have, the health department bringing up new regulations, or, if those regulations aren't, handled and pretty much set in stone and stop switching so much.
Yeah.
It would be a lot harder for trucks to get out and do their thing.
Yeah. So we were mentioning a little bit off of the air about restaurants like in downtown Houston. This was, I think, back in like 2011. I was living in that area, and there was friends that I had who worked on food trucks. These trucks were able to come park on the street in any location and serve in front of like a restaurant that pays rent there. And so the restaurant people got mad. So then something changed. They said, hey, you can't be parking on the street. You have to be on private property. You have to be in, an area that is, and then the permits and all this stuff happened. And to me, like, I'm like, well, that's not fair to them, but is it fair to the restaurants? Is there a balance? Do you think that they found the balance with the private property thing, or should they be able to park wherever?
Well, City of Houston, they require that you have a restroom letter. So saying that you're within a certain, feet from a restroom. The property letters, saying that it's okay. The property owner is saying it's okay for this truck to be here.
Yeah.
As far as being fair for the restaurants and for the food trucks, it's kind of hard to say.
Yeah. Is there a place where they can both thrive together?
Just separated from each other.
Yeah. Just separate, but thrive together. I don't know.
Yeah. Like with downtown Houston, before it was actually hard to park a truck down there. And I guess because the restaurant industry was like, okay, they're too close to us.
Right.
So they did say that you couldn't be down there with a certain amount of propane in, propane tanks. But that's been fixed. But we notice as food trucks that we do a lot better in parks, where there isn't a restaurant. If your kids are playing and you want a taco or a burger or something like that, it's right there. So it's convenience.
Cool.
So being parked in front of a restaurant, it wouldn't help us, and it wouldn't help the restaurant.
There is one right next on the seawall area down there. If you're headed down towards the end of the beach there in Galveston, there's always one right there.
Yeah.
He's got to do well. It's I forget what it is, but he's a truck right there. He's fishing and jumping into the water there.
Galveston County is kind of, they're the restaurant industry down there. They really don't like food trucks, and they make it a lot harder, for food trucks to get permits out there.
Really?
It's a big thing. And it's
why?
They make more money off of us. If we have to pay $100 every time we come into Galveston, it's a lot more money for them than for us to have to get a yearly permit. But they're really strict.
We're talking to Mary from Wiley Street Tacos, learning all about the industry, the ups and the downs. So we talked a little bit about what's coming next. There's a new truck that's going to be popping up hopefully soon that we can try out.
Mhm.
Do you ever have the desire to open a brick and mortar restaurant?
No.
You don't see it anywhere in the future, 5, 10, 15 years from now?
I don't.
So is the end game, you have the 1 truck, the 2 truck, obviously get them up and thriving and then potentially add more? Would that be a goal, or just to maintain?
To maintain, I guess eventually if it comes up, we're like,
Right.
okay, brick and mortar. But I think right now you get a lot more audience whenever you're moving,
Mm-hmm.
so
That's true.
festivals and stuff like that.
You can go to where the traffic is at.
There you go.
That makes sense, because location is a big thing, and with brick and mortar, we were talking to a friend yesterday who wants to, but eventually open up a business, and then it's like, okay, well, I got to find the right spot,
Mm-hmm.
and then think about rent or owning or all that stuff, and so
Yep.
there are benefits to having the brick and mortar, and there are benefits to being able to go wherever you want to go.
Yep.
That's awesome. Where are y'all going to be popping up next?
So we're going to be in Alvin at the No Cook Thursday event.
Cool. That's awesome.
If it doesn't rain.
Yeah, it looks like at least tonight and tomorrow it's going to, but we don't know. The weather changes so much around here anyways.
It's Texas.
And where can people find you on social media if they want to learn and see pictures about Wiley Street Tacos?
So we're on Facebook, Instagram. We're on all social media sites. Twitter, I don't do Twitter as much. I don't update, but yeah, Facebook definitely.
Yeah, Facebook is easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For us old folks.
Yeah, exactly. Twitter, I remember when Twitter was like the place to be, but then it's just like, I don't know, like Instagram, you can do pictures. Facebook, you can do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And it's almost, I'm going to compare social media to the food service industry and food trucks, how food truck is evolving. Social media is constantly evolving, and the ones that don't evolve, people stop using that social media. And so it's kind of cool to see Wiley Street Tacos, I'm sure y'all have evolved from the beginning in the infancy to now. And where's food trucks going to go? I don't know.
I don't update my social media as much as I should.
You should.
But whenever we if we're at an event and, hey guys, we're here, and show, a whole bunch of kids and people playing or whatever.
People want to see the food. They want to see the food.
Card and be like us on Facebook in every meal.
Better yet, hand out a KHEA radio card and say, like them on Facebook.
There you go.
I like that one too.
Yeah, right now it's 10:57. We have a couple minutes left. We're going to end a little bit early because I got word we're going to be doing another stream just at 11 o'clock. It's going to be fun. So we're going to end this one. Thank you so much for joining us, Mary.
Definitely.
What's your husband's name?
Roland.
Shout out to Roland. Thank you for bringing us Wiley Street Tacos, and we're excited to try y'all again.
And for watching the baby. Thank you.
Oh yeah, and the baby. What's the baby's name? How many kids do you have?
I have 4.
4 kids?
Yeah, but do we include the husband? Because I'll make 5. 5.
Okay, then 5. What are the names? Give them a shout out. We want to know.
Okay, so my oldest is Augustina. Second oldest Cassandra. Third Graciela, and then my youngest is Nathaniel.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, shout out to Roland as well. You're included. You round out the 5.
Yeah, and then my worker Paul is, he's the one who does the pico. We call it Paul Special Pico.
He's pretty much family.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
It's like a big family.
Yes.
Wiley Street.
Yep.
Cool. Well, again, thank you for joining us. Go check out Wiley Street Tacos. They're going to be in Alvin for that No Cook Thursday, and follow their social media, Wiley Street Tacos. Make sure that you go out to their next event. This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. It's Kickstart. Coming up next is Bright Work from Virginia. Hope for Love on KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.
Those things make me hot.
The headphones?
Yes.